It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
This is going to be a good, fun show tonight. That said, everyone sitting in this room, welcome to the Hippy Dippy Sunday Rumble. That's what this is, a Hippy Dippy Sunday Rumble, right? Obviously, under the brandship of Dylan Burns TV, the Hippy Dippy Recruitment Rumble rules are as follows. Dear guest, esteemed people on the left and the right side of politics, those people with long hair and short hair, those people with brown hair and other hair, right? Those people with brown eyes and other eyes, and everyone in between. Welcome to the Hippy Dippy Recruitment Rumble. We hope that you enjoy the show. Your appearance on the Hippy Dippy Recruitment Rumble is predicated on the following rules. Make sure your ass is listening. The Rumble shall open with a minimum of 8 guests, and after a period of time deemed suitable by the host and producers, the unbiased judges shall decide which guests will be removed and a new guest may join. Time allowing, each guest may have a short opening statement, whence there shall be no interruptions. Each guest will adhere to YouTube, Discord, and Twitch TOS. That's right, folks. You got a lot of fucking rules you got to skirt with inside in order to get your comedy out there. But I believe in you. Do not use any slurs or words that target immutable characteristics. Respect pronouns. Do not purposefully misgender. If Mr. Geek, whatever his ass decided to show up, or the Alpha Wolf, CTV, are talking, it is to moderate. Please do not talk while the hosts are moderating. Should there be a situation where the judge's decision is a tie break, then Danabo shall decide the income. Why is it that I'm not surprised that the fucking mover and shaker is the one deciding shit? But you know what? We'll get to that in a minute. The Hippy Dippy Recruitment Champion will win an opportunity to appear on a Friday show at a later date. Make sugar your favorite spice. And with that said, what we're going to do right quick is we're going to go around the room for 1 minute short introductions. Tell me just a couple of sentences about who the fuck you are and where people can find you. Starting up at the top left with AircraftSparky.
Hi, everyone. I'm AircraftSparky. I am a nationalist, constitutionalist here in America. I think America is the best country in the world, and why I want to keep it that way. And so I want to follow the founding documents. You can find me at youtube.com/AircraftSparky and, of course, twitch.tv/AircraftSparky. Looking forward to a great discussion tonight, and let's get this show started.
Nice. We're going to fill it back in to the left to Madlad. That's the guy we were waiting on. So Madlad, go ahead.
Yo. Hey, so I'm Madlad, and you can find me on twitch.tv/madlad_n. I do a lot of variety of things, so politics, chess. I just started a dating and relationships stream out of nowhere, and I'm looking forward to getting into the meat of this topic.
Nice. The meat of the topic. Be weird.
Yeah, good fun.
Or is it be weird or be wired? Which one is it? You're muted. Beautiful.
Hey everyone, I'm weird. I want everyone to be weird. Oh, I do a cooking show. It's a lot of fun.
All
Rich
right.
food for poor folks.
That's been a minute. I don't know what the fuck he's doing now. All right, DoctorBP.
Hi everyone. So I'm a software engineer who's also like a philosophy major, math major. I do a lot of shit. My Twitter is TheFeyPrince. Fey is spelled F-E-Y. My Twitch stream is not really online too much, but you can follow me over there at BigPunk157. And if you see me in Discord, I'm usually DoctorBP. I know I have too many handles.
Too many handles is right. Next, we're going to throw it over to drummer 122YT.
Hey, what's up? So I go by Drummer on YouTube, obviously. You can find me there. I think I'm the only one who has that handle, so it shouldn't be difficult. And I focus my channel on mainly current events and politics and try to lead people down a path of critically thinking more and kind of getting away from the sort of reactionary knee-jerk responses that unfortunately plagues the Twitch and Twitter spaces.
Okay, DoctorBP and Drummer, if you'd both turn yourselves up a little bit, that'd be nice. Just a little bit, though. KFlogan, go ahead.
Any better?
Hello there, I'm Kevin Logan. I'm a Britbonger socialoid, leftoid here on Twitch. You can find me at KFlogan1875. I do streams about stuff where I shout at people sometimes.
Nice. NoJustice.
Yeah, so you can find me at NoJusticeMTG on all the socials. I am yet another online transgender leftist person, except I'm British, which makes it even worse. I'm SOCDEM in the streets, communist in the tweets, and I talk about Britbonger current events a lot and online drama.
Nice. Notkingd.
Hi. My name is Notkingd, and I'm basically a Twitter troll who main goal get people to do things. My Twitter is, as it sounds, Notkingd, no flourish necessary. Yeah, ready to have some fun. Hopefully, make people a bit nicer. All that fun stuff.
Nice. Is it Rye?
Rhea.
Rhea, go ahead.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Rhea. I am non-binary. I use any pronouns, so you can call me whatever you feel like. In regards to tonight's topic, I believe that hunger is a problem we can afford not to have in America, and so I'm pro EBT pretty much to the limit. I'm ready to get into it.
Nice. And last but certainly not least, we've got the man with the motherfucking plan, been coming in on the Sunday Rumbles for a long fucking time, right? He's the comedian that leaves you feeling, right? It's TheParadigmShift. Go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a paradigm shift, a fundamental change in the way you think. I am, of course, pro EBT, and I think we could be doing a lot more, and it does bleed into a lot of intersectional issues.
You're getting into the wrong thing. It's an introduction. Where can we find you?
And a lot of the things that we deal with, and that's what I talk about on my show. Twitch.tv/the_paradigm_shift. Please let Twitch know to give me back my name. I hate the underscores.
Outstanding. So now that we've filled out the room, right, we know what the topic of conversation is, right? Thumbs up if we all know what the topic is. Everybody knows what the topic is? Okay, cool. So this is what we're going to do, right? We're going to start. Wait, Danabo, do we go around and do introductory statements for this thing? Or do we get right into it? Because it is a rumble. He might be on a delay. So I tell you what, we're going to do the opening statements. I want 30 seconds. Madlad, how do you feel about it?
So the greatest indicator of your... Oh, go ahead.
What, Danabo?
You know I'm delayed, right?
Yep.
Just get up to your CTV. 30 seconds or get into it.
Hey, just keep your ass in the room. There's no reason for you not to be. I'll just hide your window, okay?
Geek can't. He's a chair right now.
Well,
but yeah, go ahead. Enjoy.
Yeah. Okay. Madlad, go for it.
Cool. So the greatest indicator of your wealth is the socioeconomic quintile you're born in. So if you are in the middle, you're likely to stay in the middle throughout your life. This means no matter what advice you're given or what rules you're forced to endure, well, the greatest likelihood is you're just going to be in the exact same place you were born in, which means that if you're going to provide something like EBT or SNAP to an individual, setting arbitrary rules and regulations on how that EBT should be spent isn't actually likely to improve the person's likelihood of escaping from being poor. It's analogous to someone setting rules on us as, well, I mean, I don't know how many people are middle class, but let's say I'm a middle class individual. It'd be analogous to a rich person saying, hey, I'm going to control your lifestyle. I'm going to control what you're allowed to eat. I'm going to give you someone who's going to control your routine, and I expect you to become rich. And the likelihood of that actually happening is very small, even with all the gifts being given to me. So I think it's very silly to actually provide rules and regulations for folks who need the most help in order to escape poverty, because it's not going to help them.
AircraftSparky.
Look, it's very simple. Look, SNAP was developed with one certain thing in mind, and that is to provide food. What a lot of people are actually complaining about is, oh, they cannot buy fast food with it. Well, when you look at it, the majority of your actual savings and everything is buying unprepared food. Look, I have no problem with the SNAP and EBT system that exists today. Although I would like to add a caveat of taking away high fructose sugar type foods off of the allowed list, because really, what is soda going to do? It's just a waste of money. Yes, I drink soda. Call me a hypocrite, but it's my money. It's not the people's money. This is essentially nothing more than a grant. Every time we issue grants to whomever, there's always going to be limitations to how that money can be spent, and SNAP and EBT is no different.
Bewyrd.
Yeah, so if EBT is for poor folk to like feed themselves, what does it matter if the food is hot or fast or whatever? It doesn't really matter, right? The government's interested in turning unproductive citizens into productive ones. You know, they might be below the poverty line or low SES. And so how could a government possibly know what's good for dinner tonight? Why would they know that? That's a very particular, specific type of question. And the government might be trying to like reduce costs from like unhealthy foods, but you know, that's not probably the way to go about it. And it's kind of like a sledgehammer to meet a nuanced issue. So EBT, good, feeds families.
You know, when you just said that commercial from back in the day about steak, it's what's for dinner, bum, 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 came to mind. But anyway, DoctorBP, go ahead.
All right, my mic good this time?
Yeah, much better.
All right. So I think that EBT/SNAP is really important. There are definitely a few things that could be improved upon, and I think that we can improve upon them on a state-by-state basis, or maybe even a local basis. And I think that would be much better than trying to improve it on a federal basis. And that's partially why I wanted to be here for this conversation. The other part would be that I kind of agree with AircraftSparky, where we need to cook. We don't need to be going to McDonald's. There's a lot of concerns with time and the cost of cooking your own food. Wait, is CTV talking?
To hear you, we can't.
Motherfucker.
Good job.
Damn it! All right, so remember the topic is food stamps and EBT. Should people on EBT be able to buy fast food, etc. with EBT? So you guys have been on topic. I'm just pointing that out for the chat, so we're all following the same conversation. Drummer, go ahead.
Sure, thank you. How's my volume? Is it any better?
Much better, thank you.
All right, no problem. So I think a lot of people here, it seems so far that we're all kind of in favor of the SNAP and EBT program, which obviously social programs are generally pretty good things. You want to help people kind of get on their feet, get back into it. The point of the SNAP program originally is that it's not supposed to be always and forever. It's supposed to be a temporary thing to help you out. As far as it comes to being able to buy fast food and all this other stuff, I think rather than focusing our attention on the SNAP program, which is not for that, it's not why it was started, that there's a lot more ideas and things like the general labor movement, like increasing the minimum wage, better benefits and things, universal health care, whatever, that would ease the financial burden of people in general, and then they just have more money, their own money to buy whatever fast food they want without having the SNAP program being strained for that. Because the point of it is it's a limited fund, a limited amount of money. So they want people to be spending it smartly and stretching those dollars so they have more money to go around for more people.
Devin Logan.
Yes, the policing and shaming of poor people's diets and food habits is a ridiculous, callous policy on behalf of politicians, and a truly monumentally disgusting trait amongst people who are generally the critics of the EBT program. The idea that something as simple as having the hot food options in a sandwich shop is some hideous imposition on the American taxpayer is fucking deranged. Like, how short-sighted do you have to be to think that the food stamp recipients, who are a drop in the bucket for the federal and state budgets, is the real problem here compared to the $8.1 trillion that the US military has pissed away on wars in Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq and Pakistan. 8.1 trillion with a T. But you want to moan about some poor kid in Alabama getting a hot sandwich or a gallon of soda? It's ridiculous. And I suspect that the opponents of EBT aren't really doing it because they care about taxpayer dollars being wasted, but because, unfortunately, their lives are shit and they want to make their lives seem better by shitting on poorer people, even though it's out of the control of both of the individuals involved.
NoJustice.
So they should be replaced with cash payments. Plenty of other countries just do cash payments, allow poor people to spend their money how and whatever on whatever they would like to spend that money on. They will most likely spend it on food because people need that to live. That is a material need that they have. The idea they're just going to spaff it away on drugs, that doesn't really bear out in the data either. And the idea that it's just something specific to poor people that they would do that, it's just classism. Let's be real. All of that is classism. And if you want to say, well, they shouldn't have certain kinds of food on this benefits program because it's because of some kind of public health concern. If you have a real public health concern about that, then you should be attacking the things that you are, discouraging them from buying from a systemic nature. Why is it okay not for a poor person to buy in those regards? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, just ban high fructose corn syrup across the board. That's what I would do.
Notkingd.
All right, I'm going to slow this down a little bit. I said I was going to be nice. Probably not going to start off that way. So first off, AircraftSparky is wrong. Snap's two main goals when they were set up were for subsidizing farmers and promoting nutrition. So nutrition is actually a big deal in terms of should that be that Snap goal still. It's supposed to be supplemental as well. So it doesn't always go for, or it's not meant to be the only place where you get food from. However, I can't argue that it's not time to reassess that goal. Setting those limits for hot food or for fast food seems to be fairly arbitrary, and the reason that I find that, I don't know if I've been researching the exact wrong thing, but apparently, from what everyone else was saying, I got the impression that EBT was not specifically set a set fixed amount for the month. From what I researched, it was you are given a fixed amount based off your income level and the amount of members in your household. And another point in terms of removing that goal, homeless people. They kind of can't cook, or they don't, a lot of the time, they don't have access to be able to cook. So getting even a program where they can get hot food is crucial in order for ensuring that they have nutrition. Another thing I ran into in researching this.
Notkingd. Great. That's your time. Appreciate it. Rhea, go for it.
All right. Like I said before, I believe that hunger is a problem we can afford not to have in America, and EBT SNAP benefits should apply to any food item, regardless of temperature, price, location, or any other factors. I'm not against using EBT as a form of, like a specialized form of UBI to eliminate food insecurity in America completely, meaning it would be applicable to any U.S. citizen who applies, regardless of class. If an American family can utilize EBT benefits to completely eliminate food as a monthly cost for them, think about all the other things that they could be contributing to the economy with. They're spending their paychecks on aside from food, which is something that we can just afford to give to all of our citizens.
Paradigm shift.
I agree with a lot of things and I disagree with a lot of things. My take is, should EBT be allowed for fast food? Absolutely. Like, at this point, money isn't real. You just want to use EBT as a judgment card to lock people in a system in which if they make $1 or a cent over the allotted amount, they lose all support that they get because they're making enough money. You want to put these pedestals up and make yourself feel better because these people need this assistance and you don't. It's a simple game that you like to play and you should stop playing that game. We should also increase food stamps. Money isn't real, like I said. Like, I don't understand why there are limitations on that, but like there's not limitations on like insider stock trading. I don't understand like why poor people have rules and rich people get to flaunt them. It's the basic premise of David versus Goliath, and I'm finna throw some stones. What's up?
I mean, I get it. It's all about leverage. Right?
Shut up, Madlad. I didn't give you permission to talk yet. Jesus Christ, that's why I'm here.
Sorry.
Now, shut up. I don't need the sorry apology soaking up any more of the fucking airwaves. It's a really tight ship that we're fucking running here. Now, Mr. Geek, glad you could finally fucking show up so that we can have the show. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing wonderful. Thank you for taking over. I had to do something real quick. Sorry for being late.
Out fucking standing. Everybody in the room understand Mr. Geek is in fact the angry Frenchman for this fucking debate. If you hear Mr. Angry Frenchman start fucking screaming, shut the fuck up. Otherwise, you'll find myself exercising motherfucking ultimate force on your voice and cutting it out completely with that motherfucking mute button, right? So that's what's going to be happening. Now, EBT, I'm happy to be here, part of the conversation, happy to moderate it. Me and Mr. Geek are doing that. I'm throwing it. As a matter of fact, first person to raise their hand gets to go first. Look like Sparky. Sparky, take it off.
Look, I have no problem helping people that are in need. That really isn't a big deal. But the situation is, let's break it down. Every time any entity is given grant money by the U.S. taxpayer, let's look at Big Pharma. When pharmaceuticals are given money for their grants, if they turned around and instead of, I don't know, developing this new drug that they promised, they decided that they were going to go and pay their CEOs and board members bonuses, you'd be up in arms. But because it is someone is wanting to buy a $10 freaking Happy Meal or something, you're like, oh, that's completely okay. No, go buy a bag of rice, boil some damn water. How hard is it?
Are you mental? Yeah, there's a difference between tens of millions of dollars in bonuses and someone buying a Happy Meal. Yes, there is a very
Hold on, where the fuck is a Happy Meal? $10? Jesus Christ!
$65 billion is what the federal government spends annually on SNAP, and I think it is a good investment. Wow. That's why you need to actually have good nutrition involved with it. Okay,
right, but the problem is that taxpayers, like, as a whole, don't actually know how to judge whether the SNAP benefits are being used appropriately or not. Like, the whole point is you give the money to people without judgment so that they can manage their lives and work their way out of the situation that they're in. If you set arbitrary rules, if you decide to do things that make it harder for them to do a day-to-day routine, plan around their own like lives, then it makes it that much harder for them to escape poverty. So if you have like this arbitrary rule, no hot food from McDonald's, and someone doesn't have time to make breakfast in the morning, they need to get to their hourly wage labor, underemployment job, whatever, and the only way they can eat is to hit that McDonald's right outside of where they work. You're taking that opportunity and that option away from them, and that's not fair.
I don't know, man. Average Happy Meal is store, buy some bread, buy some meat.
An average Happy Meal is $2.49, by the way. Just out of interest.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. That's not even the point. Like, the point is that, like, you're taking away people's. Yeah, but you don't actually know what these people's lives are like, and you're making this arbitrary judgment call. You should be able to go to the grocery store and get bread and meat and just make whatever the fuck you want, right? But you don't know what their lives are like. You don't even know if the person has a refrigerator. You have no idea. You don't know how depressed they are. You don't know. Like, just to give you an idea, of like what it's like to have a hard time. Like, for the last like 2 months, I was so depressed and so out of it that I couldn't even. I love cooking, and I couldn't even cook a meal for myself. I lost 30 pounds because I was sad, and like, my life doesn't suck. I have lots of great things going on. And like, just compare that to someone who's actually suffering financially and emotionally, and you're expecting them to like, live by some guidelines that you're arbitrarily setting because you're judging them rather than trying to reflect on what they need.
With children,
no, this is not a judgment. This is actually
minimum wage jobs. You've got no chance of being able to have the time or necessarily the knowledge or the experience to be able to cook for all of your children and then get any amount of sleep and your 2 jobs.
It doesn't even have to be that, though.
Cooking?
It doesn't even have to be that.
Okay.
Cooking is a basic survival.
I'm really, really good at cooking. I really enjoy cooking, and I couldn't do it.
Of course, I gotta get to this motherfucker. Turn my voice up immediately, everyone in the room. Now, Sparky, I felt like you were, there was obviously a lot of running around. You're making the point, so defend yourself.
Look, it is very simple. You pay way too much for pre-prepared food. The bills that fund the SNAP program, EBT, by the way, is nothing more than just a little plastic card. It looks like a debit card that way, because the old food stamp book was actually kind of a way of shaming and also rife with fraud. But that's a whole other thing to get into. The idea of SNAP, when it was developed, it was set with these restrictions on spending. That's the way it's written. Now, if you want to, if you'd like to manage that, if you'd like to change that, there are ways to do that.
But Sparky, do you know what America also pays far too much for? Its ridiculously bloated military budget. There's never any problem. No one ever says, can we afford another 20 billion for military? No, it's always, can we cut a tiny bit off SNAP? Or
can we just talk about how shit that point was, though, by the way?
Actually, avenues we can take outside of SNAP that pull this together. When I was, before I definitely overdid my time, in my research, I found a bunch of plans in terms of something called a restaurant meal plan. This would specifically be for like homeless people or people who couldn't cook, and then they would be able to get fast food services at specified areas. You can do this outside of that without having to change the law as well.
There's no need for it. Like, why does the government need to get that close, that granular into the lives of its peoples? I think the thing that really strikes me is that people can go to the grocery store and get like bread and peanut butter and think that's a healthy meal. Like,
it's
just
really
because we're
hilarious
given...
to me because like we've got people who are big believers in small government. They're just saying, oh no, we don't want the government involved in our lives. But no. For the poor, we have to regulate everything because we're spending money on them.
Brother.
But yeah, like if we're gonna give them money, then we can control their lives.
One moment. Let me go ahead and knock out all this "I feel this way" type attitude. Anytime that you take money from the taxpayers, that money has to go to a specific thing that it's actually allocated for, because it's not just for the poor.
All right, but America's the richest nation that's ever existed. Pennies.
If you were going to allocate taxpayer funds for it, they are going to put restrictions on it. Like
allocate taxpayer funds for food. Let them buy food.
If you give millions of dollars to a pharmaceutical to develop X drug, and they turn around and say, fuck that, and they send it and they give it to their board.
It's a shit analogy. Can come up with a different one?
You would have they fit. No, it is a true analogy. It's the exact same thing.
No, it's not, because you're dealing with a pharmaceutical company versus
All right. Don't.
Go ahead.
I want Sparky to finish his point first, and after that I want to throw it to people who haven't talked yet. So yeah, Paradigm, NoJustice, and everything. Sparky, go ahead.
Look, it's just simple. It is essentially grant money. It is money with a purpose that is given to people to help them. They've already determined what is actually acceptable, what isn't. So this isn't even up for debate. Okay? Unless you want to change the bill, this is not even up for debate because this is taxpayer money.
All right.
No, that's
okay.
Laws can be amended, right?
Like I said, unless you're willing to
change. Okay. I'm going to throw it to Paradigm, and after that, NoJustice.
I'm gonna get a lot quicker on that fucking mute button moving forward. I'm telling you, you better turn me up.
Thank you. Okay, Sparky. Let me see if I can help you a little. Not to say that you need the help. I'm not saying I'm rescuing you. No, I want to calm things down a bit because wow, that's just so dumb. Just so dumb. Okay, no, I'm being serious. So your point is that food stamps were originally allocated for certain things, and because the government gives such a big grant to this social program, that they should have the rights and rules to try to push a healthy, if we want to call it, agenda, because that would be the best thing for everybody who generally has a need for food stamps. I'm assuming that's what you're saying, right? That makes sense. However, what doesn't make sense is that restriction only locks down to a certain populace. That populace can be of any race, color, whatever, but they all have one thing in common. Okay. They're all low-wage people because you have to make under a certain amount. So if you could say that it doesn't discriminate, but then you put discrimination in like just, little tiny random places around, and you kind of make it so that way the majority of the people who make that amount of money happen to be a certain type of people, wouldn't you be saying that you're pretty much in favor of subjecting a certain type of people to restrictions just based on the fact that they can't come up the monetary financial ladder. What does that say about you as a person to want to believe that that is the correct direction we should be going in? That's what I'm confused on, because I can see your point being valid, but that means that you definitely would be okay with like restrictions on any type of social program. So if these social programs aren't going to everybody, i.e. UBI, why don't we just give out EBT cards to everybody? If there are level restrictions and there are other restrictions on top of those restrictions, why would you be in favor of something that probably doesn't affect you? I wonder where does that put you on the, I don't know, moral scale?
Everything is not a morality deal. Look, here's the actual deal. There are limits to every social welfare program that exists. That is how true. People. Yes, it actually is. That's how people qualify and or disqualify for these programs. There's restrictions on everything. Don't sit there and
affordable housing.
I want to throw it to Raya, then on up to DoctorBP, and then Madlad.
NoJustice was first.
They could go first.
NoJustice
was? Okay, NoJustice then. Okay.
Yeah.
So, first of all, the idea that Snap was originally made for a certain thing is completely irrelevant to this conversation. I'm making a prescriptive statement about how I think these things should be implemented moving forward and how we should change them. Whether it was originally meant for that, I couldn't give a shit, right? Now, obviously, I live in the UK, as I've mentioned before, and we just give people cash payments. When I was on benefits, they just put money into my bank account. I could spend that on whatever I want. It got spent on food. Sometimes that was fast food or whatever. Now, I can agree with you that there is a public health concern, specifically in the United States with regards to obesity, and that does, very slightly more affect the poor, right? But why should the restrictions that you're placing on how people spend their money be specifically allocated to those who are poor rather than those who are rich as a public health concern, rather than, as I mentioned before, a blanket ban on something like high fructose corn syrup that makes everybody fat, regardless of, if they drink it into excess, regardless of whether they're rich or poor. So making that distinction is, I don't know why you would make that, other than the idea that poor people's money that being given to poor people by the government isn't their money, when it is. It is their money. They've consented to be governed. They adhere to the social contract. They're part of that society. They live under that government. If they've been given the money by the government, that is theirs. That's theirs to spend, as far as I'm concerned, how they see fit. And sure, if you want to have a public health concern, I absolutely agree, but that should apply to everybody, regardless of how rich or poor they are.
So this has already been answered. Let me respond, please.
He can go ahead.
We've got.
Okay.
Just be quick.
It's very simple. Look, if you're depending on the taxpayers to pay, this has already been answered. Okay, it's already established in the bill. It has already been determined that this is government money granted to people who cannot afford to actually feed themselves. So restrictions are already set up. Do I like all the restrictions? No, but I do think pre-prepared food costs a little bit too much. You can get more money, you can get more food for less money if you buy it non-pre-prepared. Everyone gets fed, good times.
That doesn't answer my point. That doesn't respond to me.
Okay, so
only apply to poor people and not rich people.
Because poor people can't buy their own food. That's why the government is giving them an allowance to help them buy more food. So the government is going to determine, look, if you can't do something as basic as purchase your own meals, we're going to tell you what you can and cannot buy.
Yo, we shouldn't have to
hold your hand and tell you how to live.
You got friends? Sparky, you got friends?
Yes, I got tons of friends. Yeah.
You got friends? Fuck them, huh? Right? Just fuck them, right? Anybody under a certain threshold, just fuck them, right? I don't know what
you're going to say. If my friend needs money for something, I'm going to ask them what it's for.
Sparky, you're implying here they're just going to spend all of their money on fast food.
No, I'm not implying that. But it does happen.
Why should poor people have access to it to treat themselves once in a while, and rich people should? You're not making.
This is rich people aren't getting money from the government to buy the basic necessities of life. There is a difference. Middle class people aren't either. It happens to be the people below the poverty line.
Okay. We got a lot of people jumping in. So Raya, right? Raya. I'm fucking trying. That's 4 letters that don't exactly make, so go ahead.
Yeah. So I just genuinely don't believe that anybody in America should go hungry. I think we are advanced enough as a society at this point to prevent that from happening. Obviously, there's going to be somebody who gets lost in the woods and starves or something. We can't prevent every single little thing, But if we can stop the death of an American citizen, I think that we should do that. If the method we take to do it means we have to like just give no limits, like a cash payment to all American citizens, regardless of social class, anything like that, totally in favor of it. I don't think that the government should be telling us how we spend our money, especially what we eat. I agree completely with NoJustice about like blanket bans on high fructose corn syrup or anything like that, because that's the real way to tackle health issues when it comes to like food, stuff like that. It has to apply to everyone in the population. If you're just targeting out poor people, one of which I am and have been my entire life, it just doesn't really seem like you care for like eliminating the problem. It's more about keeping the hierarchy that's currently in place there.
Dr. BP.
Yeah, I think NoJustice is.
Okay, so like the main issue is, why are we directing poor people into certain food types? Now there is a I guarantee you no one on this fucking panel knows about this, but there is a project called the Food Fortification Project, or Food Fortification Initiative, and they go around and they put certain nutrients in like rice, wheat, corn flour, and it's really important that people get these very, very, very fucking cheap. I looked it up at Walmart. 20 pounds of rice, 200 servings, that feeds you for 2 months. That's $8. Okay, right? $8.73. Not with tax. Okay, you got sales tax. It's like $9. Now, how much is this pasta salad that I've been eating? It's $9. This is a meal. That rice, you can eat that 3 meals a day for 2 months. What should we be driving poor people towards? If the program is to make sure that they get the proper nutrients in their life, we should be directing them towards things they can cook. Now, who are the poor people that are in this program? It's not people like my dad, who worked doubles every single day to support the family. Okay, you make way too much income, even at minimum wage. Minimum wage is it's just below the single threshold, which is $16,744. It's a little under that, and that's at 40 hours a week. So who are these people? They have the time to cook, they have the time to clean, they have the time to do all of this stuff. The only issue is when they are elderly or heavily disabled.
Or have kids. Kids I tend to add a lot to the whole food preparation and cleaning and storage thing.
When you start adding people, your income threshold gets greater, and then your.
Do you have kids?
No, fuck.
I'm just curious.
Dude, I am double income, no kids. Fuck kids, okay? I hate kids. Gun them all down.
Hey, hold on. Kevin, I want to throw it to you next, but Dr. BP, if I'd have known you were going to be eating your mic, I wouldn't have told you to turn it up. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'll turn it down a little. Is that good?
That's much better. Kevin, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to respond to two things that were said.
Wasn't I next? No? Oh, that's fine.
I forgot. Dr. BP, yeah.
What?
Yes, sorry, go on.
Go ahead, Kevin. We're getting to Madlad next.
Yeah, Dr. BP, the idea that someone's just going to live on rice for months, like, I mean, why not just put them in a prisoner of war camp and make them scrub the floors or something? I mean, it's ridiculous.
I can give you 8 billion different things that are
and
just
in terms
as
of
cheap.
okay, you can respond in a second. And to AircraftSparky, I just want to say, like, your nonsense arguments have been used since the Victorian era. The idea that the poor are poor because they're making bad decisions, rather than systems have been set up to ensure that huge numbers of people at the bottom are kept poor, and then you're punishing them and shaming them for being unable to escape a system that's inescapable for millions.
Madlad.
So I just want to bounce off of NoJustice's point, which was that we're looking for prescriptions, like what we're going to do to solve the problem. So like any argument regarding like what the laws were set as, or well, we have to change the laws properly, et cetera, that's all nonsense and like not relevant to the conversation at all. In terms of folks who like the nutritious rice thing, like, yeah, I did something like that once. There was a time in my life where I bought a bag of potatoes and a dozen eggs, and every day I ate 1 potato and 1 egg, just nonstop. I cooked the egg, I cooked the potato with different spices every day, and I had the egg, and that was like my meal, just like for months at a time, right? And like I understand that it's possible, it's practical, it's logical, but like we're definitely like overlooking the human element, which is that is suffering. And like the point is that poor folks who are poor are already suffering enough hardship as is, and regulating what they eat. Like I understand that the rice is more logistically efficient, absolutely, provided that there is a stove, provided that there's cookware, provided there's accessibility to cook and time to cook, and like the whole having a family thing or being disabled does have plays a part in that. Having a house in the first place plays a part in all of that. But the general point here is that we should not be telling people what they can and cannot buy with EBT. We should trust the individuals who are receiving this to use the money to their best of their ability. Because the reason they're poor isn't because they are suffering or because they made bad decisions. The reason they're poor is because they're born in that bracket and they're destined to be in that bracket as a result. That's my point.
Drummer.
Thank you. So I really want to touch on something that Notkingd said earlier, which was mentioned some sort of, I believe it was like a restaurant voucher program you had mentioned. Or
good, because we're going to him next, and then we're going to kick it up to Sparky, so that way we know the order, y'all can flow.
All right. I just wanted like that. I think that is a fine idea. I don't think there's an issue with allocating specific money for specific things when we do this in almost every facet of our lives. I know for me, and I'm sure everyone here on this panel does this, we all budget our money. Now, I don't have a million spreadsheets, denoting where every dollar of mine goes, but I do have a mental list kind of running, and I think about these things all the time. So having a system set up for people to budget their money efficiently and learn things like cooking, whatever. Now, yeah, I get it. You don't have time. You may be homeless. There's other things. We can have programs for these. We can get funding for these programs. I'm not saying that, this whole idea of shaming, I personally don't have any want to shame anyone who's in that situation. I feel bad for them because I wouldn't want to be in that position myself, and I don't think any of us would like voluntarily be in that spot. But I just think we're getting very lost in the weeds with this whole idea of like shaming people for choices. Where like no one's saying they can't buy those things. It's just that there is certain money allotted for certain things. And sure, I think having some sort of like voucher program where these folks can go to restaurants and function like that, I think is fine. So yeah, expanding the program, sure, why not?
Awesome. Yeah. From what I've seen, there are 4 states that had it implemented, and then when I looked again, there were a bunch of states that had started doing it in 2021. So we are on that track. I have a list of things I want to respond to. First off, I guess to Paradigm and NoJustice and Kevin, you can give money with restrictions, but you don't necessarily have to make those you can give money and still give restrictions. That is not something that is generally a good idea to argue against, because you can do that and you can still argue in that framework to expand those restrictions. Hey, maybe we throw in like a Panera is eligible now or something like that. We can go through this without saying, hey, I think drugs and alcohol should also be part of that system, or something like along those lines, or hey, I just need to buy a new Lego set. Use my food stamps, boys.
Wait, why is it a bad idea?
Sorry, which part is bad idea?
Well, you're saying like we shouldn't remove the restrictions because it doesn't have to be a thing or whatever. But you didn't explain why it was a bad thing. You just kind of started giving examples. I'm just curious, why is the restriction itself not necessarily a bad thing?
So it is essentially like an insurance for the government itself to ensure that its programs are being efficient in at least some capacity. I would argue that SNAPS has issues where if you are wanting that, hey, we want to be all healthy, nutritious.
It's that time. The judges, right? Those judges, right? They've been sitting here judging your performance. They've been looking behind. We have some names that are leaving the chat, right? These are not decisions that I get to make. These are decisions that are above my pay grade, but you know what? They're decisions that got made nonetheless. So Raya, you're first on the list. Thanks for being here. Notkingd, you're next too. Thanks for being here. Oh, they got themselves. Nice. Bewyrd, you're next. Thanks for being here. DoctorBP, you're next. Thanks for being here. Oh, what the fuck did I just do there? Damn it. And Drummer, the last one on the list. Right? Thanks for being here, buddy.
It's too bad. No problem.
All right, now we're going to have the room flooded with the next wave of Rumble participants. Who the fuck else just dropped? Who the fuck else just dropped their video right whenever I'm trying to do my... Jesus. Anyway, we got a whole new list of Rumble participants that are coming into the fucking ring right now. We hear entrance music all over the fucking place. We got Sondsol's motherfucking raccoon rap coming in hot, straight from the raccoon's den. We got freaknikbeatnik, right? Don't know what the fuck is going on up there, but I like them posters. We got Xathereth. Is that right? Xathereth coming in with the hot hair. I like it. And the glasses, it works. It fucking works, all right? And next we got Sarent Peppers, right? Good Lord, that's a lot of red. You almost remind me of Mr. Geek, except without the haircut. Who else we got? I know we got one more. Maybe two more.
We had some people, but I think...
They're fucking up my flow right now, Geek. You know that? They're fucking up my flow. I had like a great flow going. People coming into the ring. It's like, is this what we got?
Listen, I'm just going to say, the judge will notice. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, there we go. We got Plethora 95 in the house. Ain't seen her in fucking forever. Plethora, how you doing? Is that in fact the entire lineup? I'm just trying to get word from the producers now to make sure we don't have anybody else coming in. Anybody? I think this is it, right? The conversation is EBT and Snap, right? I have no idea where in the hell we were at. We've got all people in the ring now, but you know what, Mr. Geek? I think the last time we did it, this is the best way to do it. First one to raise your hand. Oh, Kevin Logan was first on that one, right? Kevin, go for it.
I'm going to pick a bone with our old friend Sondsol. Motherfucker, I saw your tweet on Twitter. Your shaming of the poor is disgraceful. You call yourself a leftist. Embarrassing.
I just want to ask you one question, both to you and to Madlad. I'm so fucking curious. What do you think my tweet said? Can you tell me word for word what my tweet said?
I think it was something about how the poor should just be left to be eaten by pygmy ants.
Let me. I was making a lot of memes. I just want to hear what Madlad thinks my tweet said.
Hold on, I was making memes with it, so I have it right here, actually.
Oh, so you have to read. You can't actually remember it.
It would have to be relevant and a good tweet for me to actually remember the words that you actually said. It was such shit. It makes so much
sense to me.
Sondsol. Yeah, good job, Mr. Geek. Good job. Now listen. If you haven't turned me up already, right, make sure you turn my voice up. I'm trying not to scream because I don't want to wake up my wife. Anybody want to deal with her ass? No, I didn't think so, right? So I don't either, right? I want to let her sleep, so I don't want to yell. Turn me up, right? So we're going to throw her back into the room. Geek's got a plan for where we're going. Geek?
We're going to throw it to Sondsol first, and after that Madlad, since they were...
10-4, you got the march orders.
It is so funny to me that neither of them could actually say back what my tweet actually said. Because what my tweet said is, if they're like, all else things being equal, this is the spirit of what it said. If all else things being equal, if you're poor, hold on. I'm giving it to you, motherfucker. If you shut the fuck up for a second, okay? So, like, if you're poor and the only thing that is holding you back from cooking for yourself is that you don't like fucking cooking and you think that the grocery store is boring, then you should probably grow the fuck up. Now, do I recognize that there are a lot of systemic barriers, that there are a lot of physical barriers, that there are a lot of different things that can make it to where poor people can't get to the grocery store? Sure. But the fact that you guys took it so personally shows me how fucking insecure about your own lives you are, that you thought that I was talking about your situation when I was it was a subtweet of an individual. So I think it speaks more to your insecurity than it does to any of my political positions.
Nothing to do with insecurity. It's the fact that the word only is doing a lot of carrying there.
It's almost like that's the operative word of the tweet, you stupid fuck.
All right.
By the way, for the record.
Okay. First of all, real quick, sorry. I want to throw it to Madlad after that, but can we get the link of this tweet in question? Because we are talking about it, but I don't know if everyone knows. So yeah.
Make sure you drop it in the Wolf's Den chat.
It was really memorable, honest. It was.
Yeah, I just said it word for word, so.
No, you didn't.
I want to throw it.
you motherfuckers can clip it because
Hey,
you guys.
Geek said that he was throwing it to Madlad, right? So Madlad.
I just want to throw a challenge out there.
Hold on.
CTV challenge.
I just want to read the tweet right quick. Madlad, move to the side. Madlad, move to the side. Okay, so Sondsol apparently said, listen, if you're in poverty and the only thing can I fucking read? Shut up, Sondsol. Listen, if you're in poverty and the only thing keeping you from cooking at home is that you think cooking is too hard and the grocery store is boring, maybe you need to grow the fuck up. It's probably what I
it's almost like I just said it word for word. Clip it and shit, motherfuckers. It's almost like you guys have the IQ collectively of a meerkat. Shut the fuck up. Never talk about politics again because you guys are so insecure you can't even talk about policy without feeling like it's attacking you personally. I don't give a fuck if you listen. Shut the fuck up, KFlogan. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck if you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a single fuck what you think. What my tweet said. I don't give a fuck if Madlad was such a sad boy that he couldn't cook for himself. Sometimes cooking for yourself is a part of fucking life. In fact, when I say sometimes, I think it's all the time. It's something that adults have to fucking do. Fuck it up. Fucking go and cook your own.
No one has ever eaten that before.
I want to let Paradigm.
Okay, hold on. This is actually look. I did
never
forget.
cook for yourself.
Hold on. Jesus Christ! If you just entered the ring, raise your hand. Okay. All right, Plethora 95. Introduce yourself and tell people where they can find you.
Hey everyone, I'm Plethora 95. My friends call me Pleth or Plethy, which I think is friggin' adorable. I've been on a bit of a sabbatical from Twitch, but I'm coming back. My shit is scuffed, but I really like being here. I usually cry on panels, so we'll see how that goes.
Nice. Freaknikbeatnik. Where can people find you? And like real short, like 20 seconds. Where can people find you? What are you about?
Yeah, you can find me at.
Wow, your mic is really low, dude. You got to turn yourself up way a lot. We'll come back to you. Sergeant Peppers, go for it.
I'm Malcolm. I'm goddammit Malcolm on everything. I like to stream about trans stuff mostly, but I just wanted to participate and scream at people for hating poor people and how that's bad and we shouldn't do it. So that's why I'm here.
Xathereth.
Hi, I'm Xathereth. You can find me on all the things with that name, Xathereth. I'm a variety streamer. I play video games and I talk about stuff.
Freaknikbeatnik, let's try it again.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Fucking much better. Jesus, I love it. Talk to me.
Okay, you can find me at twitch.tv/beatnikbreakfast. I just want to know. I want to ask Sparky, like, is it? Oh,
in a second. Yeah, right now it's just introduction. Where can people find you?
Oh, just at my Twitch.
Okay, cool. Sondsol.
I'm Sondsol. I'm the guy that hates all poor people and thinks that they should starve in a gutter.
Molden bitch.
Especially if they're too sad to cook for themselves. That's what I think.
my God.
And
All right,
you can find me on Sondsol and everything.
Out fucking standing. Out fucking standing. I know there's some tension in the room. We're gonna pick that up in just a minute, right? But Freaknikbeatnik, you had a question. Go for it.
Yeah. Sparky. So you don't want to change like the current EBT law or the current SNAP laws that we have at the moment?
Yes, I would love to see them actually do things like take away high fructose syrup items off the allowed, and all candies allowed off of SNAP, because it's not really good. By the way, look, me and Sondsol disagree on a lot of things, but I had to retweet it because that was a banger of a tweet.
Does that feel good?
I have a follow-up
Does that feel
question.
good being retweeted by AircraftSparky? Is that good? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you when there's.
Did you enjoy that?
Talking.
It's pronounced fructose.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Who?
Just talk.
Who?
Just keep going.
To Sparky. Can I ask a follow-up question to Sparky?
The room's open. Let me be real quick, right? The room is open unless I'm having to micromanage it. I would rather not do that. I'd rather the conversation flow.
Am I not doing a thing?
Okay, I have a really quick question.
Malcolm,
question for Sparky. Really quick question. Do you consume candy and high fructose corn syrup? Like, why should I listen?
No government
oh no, just in general. You're saying that's unhealthy. You're saying
no.
That's
I'm saying if you're going to have government taxpayers pay for it, yes, They can limit that. There's not a problem with that.
It's not fair that there are rules that I can't pick on you for.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
so
asking
fair.
if you're
It's
healthy.
so
If it's
unfair.
unhealthy. If it's so unhealthy, why do you eat it?
Whoever lied to you and told you the world was fair, I mean, look, your mom may have told you you're fucking special, but she fucking lied to you.
This is so
Oh my
fair.
God.
Sparky, the world may
can't
not
even
be
ask me a
fair, but the
question.
government is here to make sure that everyone is on a fair playing field. The government
Sounds
isn't
like a
supposed to fucking
communism.
sit there and fucking push down poor people. If you're going to fucking impose something on poor people, you should impose it on everyone. If we're going to fuck with the high fructose corn syrup, just
It should
raise
be
the taxes
illegal.
on that, okay?
It's illegal. You can't have it either.
Like our SNAP doesn't even cover like according to the study I was reading, doesn't even cover like 33% of families with children. So why do we care about like the petty things like how healthy they're being? I think it's more important that like we feed our families first.
So you're saying because SNAP only covers 33% of families?
No. 33% of families aren't being covered that need it.
Okay, that's because
we should fix that problem first.
First of all, so that 33% isn't reliant on the American taxpayer to do one of the most basic things.
But people are related to taxpayers based on everything. Your roads get repaired. You got free health, like you got some form of healthcare. Like there's taxes everywhere. What are you talking about in this?
The American taxpayer doesn't have the right to leverage folks who can't afford to feed themselves. Like it's like
they're providing the money.
I mean, yeah, they're providing the money, but like
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But like
what else does
All
anyone
right.
have to do?
Sondsol. Geeks talking.
Sorry.
I want to phrase to people who haven't talked a lot. So Plethora and NoJustice and Xathereth. Plethora,
Yeah,
go.
I'd love to jump in here. I guess I'll share that I'm in Canada and I'm a social worker, so that's kind of the context that I'm coming from. But I have I am in the front lines with the very people that we're talking about. I work with people who are experiencing homelessness. My general opinion is yes, people should have what they need, and yes, restricting them from using EBT and SNAP is classist and problematic. However, and I'm actually pretty disappointed that no one has talked about this yet, and I hope I get some brownie points for this, but SNAP actually stands for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and nutrition is the process of providing or obtaining the food necessary for health and growth. Now, I'm very left-leaning, I will say, but I can't help but agree with the folks who are saying that, yes, there are restrictions on social services. And I'm very progressive. I will say
think
I'm
that's
very
so
progressive.
fucking based. Something that people forget to say here is that yes, it's supplemental, it's for nutrition, and also no one's saying that there's a gun to poor people's head and they can't spend their own money on fast food, right?
I think the
I want to wait. I want to phrase
I'm
back to
almost done.
NoJustice. Oh, sorry. Finish your point.
I'm almost done. So essentially, everyone should have what they need. Social services are essential. And that said, in my opinion, Band-Aid solutions like SNAP and EBT actually fucking suck. These are weak attempts at attempting to help people. I'm in favor
Rude,
of
just give 'em
policy
cash.
change that addresses the systemic intersections that impact people on a fundamental level. I'm sick and tired of these bullshit conversations about Band-Aid fucking solutions that don't address the root issue of these problems. Thank you.
NoJustice.
And people won't be able to eat McChickens 3 times a day.
No justice.
Sweet. So I want to ask a show of hands on the panel. Who thinks that it is possible to have a nutritional, healthy, balanced diet that includes a non-zero amount of fast food in it? Not all fast food or no fast food, a non-zero amount, right?
I don't know what you mean by non-zero, sorry.
You could be nutritional.
Zero.
Yeah, you could be nutritional, but
you eat McDonald's
still,
once a month.
cheat days. Yeah, it happens.
Exactly.
UK,
you can have a balanced
UK
diet that
measurements.
still includes some level of fast food, right?
But they can use their own money for that, and that's the argument.
It's
But
not
this is
fast
the
in right
America.
way.
America is
I
the
agree.
richest nation that's ever existed. Why are you penny pinching about whether a poor person can have a hot sandwich at the fucking deli counter rather than looking at the corporate welfare or the vastly bloated military?
Okay,
budget?
Kevin. Kevin,
Okay. I'm gonna start muting everybody. I'm going to do. I swear to. I'm gonna get this motherfucking. Woo, I'm gonna get this heater out. I'm gonna get this heater out. When somebody says something inflammatory, maybe look around the room, right? I know everybody jumps in at the same time, but all that ends up doing is making y'all hear my sexy voice. Maybe that's why y'all do it. Y'all want to hear my sexy voice. I understand.
Hard as a rock right now.
Unfucking fortunately, though, that's not the show, right? We're talking about EBT and Snap. Geek's got something to say. Geek, take it away.
I want to throw it back to NoJustice and after that, Xathereth. But real quick, just by show of hand, who is like for including like fast food in EBT? By show of hand. All right, so after that, I will throw it back to the people who are against because, yeah, they didn't have like much chance to answer. All right, NoJustice, and
It's
after
not that
that,
simple.
yeah.
NoJustice, then Madlad. NoJustice, Madlad.
No worries, thank you. So just want to expand on Plethy's point there, in that, yes, what we need to do is 100%. We need to be able to tackle these things from a systemic level, and that means affecting everybody regardless of their income level or whether they receive EBT or not. And we need to have systemic solutions. It's okay to say, well, just cook 5 head. And I know that's not what you're saying, Sondsol. I know your prescriptions are much wider than that, right? But I think that to build upon that, we need to have programs in place that get people to the place in which they can cook healthy, nutritious, nice, tasty meals that everybody can have without saying that we should just blanket ban fast food, when we all agree, the vast majority of us agree, that you can have a proper nutritious, balanced, healthy diet, but that includes a non-zero amount of fast food in it, right? Do you see what I mean?
It can, yes.
Xathereth, and after that, I will open it, started by Madlad. Yeah.
So, I know that some people are saying that if the government is giving you your money, then they should absolutely have the right to tell you how to spend that money. But I guess I have a question for those people, because, like, what happens if you're on disability? The government is giving you all of your money. So are you trying to tell me that those people specifically just don't get a say in what they can and cannot eat? Also, I have a really hard time buying the argument that, like, yeah, you can just fucking cook all of your meals, even if it's just rice. Some people have zero fucking cooking skills. Like, you can try to teach them over and over again, and, like, you know, there's people like that exist. There's people that exist in the world that have physical limitations. They can't stand for a very long time. They can't, like, there's all sorts of limitations that people have that maybe they can't cook.
Sorry, but I just have like the worst thought where it's just like you can wait in a line. Wait, but you can't like cook. I just have the worst thought. You can't cook, but you can like stand in a line.
It's so unbelievably.
Say that you should stand in a line either. I'm just saying, like,
wheelchairs aren't real. They're fake.
Yo, I feel like such a grifter right now, but like I'm seriously agreeing with you. Like, honest to God, like it's wild.
It is unbelievably infantilizing to the poor to say that they can't fucking stand for fucking 15 minutes. I know, but here's the thing. No one here is going to make the argument. Hold the fuck up. No one here is going to make the argument that some hypothetical mom who has no arms, no legs, 14 infants who can't take care of themselves. Every single fucking meal by herself, okay? Nobody.
What about the homeless people?
And no one's talking about homeless people here. We're talking about, like,
they're on Snap. Well, no, because if they are on Snap.
Okay.
Because there are.
Wait. Sondsol. I'm going to let you finish.
Listen. I want to let Sondsol finish, right? So let Sondsol get through his fucking point, right? And we'll throw it back out. Sondsol.
Sure. So again, nobody in their right fucking mind is going to tell people who are completely fucking disabled and capable of fucking cooking that they need to fucking cook every single meal for themselves. Nobody is going to tell someone that has no fucking kitchen, like a homeless person, that they need to cook all their meals for themselves. That's impossible. That's why we have fucking programs for EBT, so that you can use it at fast food in certain places, so that if you are homeless, you can still get food with EBT. That shit is based, and that is fine. fine. But to sit here and say that we should be going out of our way to make sure that we open it up with zero fucking restrictions so that someone can spend their entire fucking EBT check on fucking McDonald's is fucking absurd. I don't know why the fuck people are going to sit here and say that that is a good use of money, but I don't know how you could possibly defend that.
I want to phrase. Sorry. Wait.
Hold on.
I want to phrase to Madlad, who has been waiting patiently. Thank you. And after that, I will open it.
So, like, the whole point isn't like, oh, hey, we should make sure everybody who has EBT or SNAP have the ability to get McDonald's. And like, yeah, McDonald's is like the best most nutritious food that's available. The point is that it's not our position to judge, and we don't actually know. Thing. I mean, but it is, because you're suggesting that it's an absurd use of funds, but there's people who can't cook at home. They don't have the time to cook at home for a variety of reasons. We don't know who they are.
Cardiovascular.
I am so sorry. Am I talking or are you guys talking?
No, because you're stupid. That's what the problem is.
Sorry, actually,
Madlad,
okay, I want to start something out here.
No. I want Madlad to finish his point, and after that, open it to.
Explain it logically.
Actually, before we can get into this, like, Sondsol summoned me from the depths of where I was to be on this thing today. He tweeted at me saying, "I'm surprised you're not here." And like, I think we should probably address the tweet first before he keeps like trying to undercut me just because he has like a beef or whatever. So like, I'm pretty positive.
You that had the beef.
I'm so sorry.
Because I don't know who the fuck you are.
I'm pretty sure like what's going on. You might not remember me, but like actually the last time we went head to head, I beat you on Prime's Battle Royale, the thing on Saturday.
Yeah, but that's really
we did that a long time ago. But it's fine. It's fine. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah, anyway, I just gotta say that's really more of a B-level presentation program.
Yeah, it's B-level. Okay, it's fine. Wait, whoa. I'm not. Okay.
You're right already. Sondsol, go ahead.
No. So my point is.
All right, back to the point, please.
What's that I'm clustering? Yeah, like.
So I'm fairly positive that Sondsol is creating tweets that are very high tension, because when we looked at the 2021 review regarding his presentation in politics last year, I believe the video presentation was just him kind of silently, blankly staring at a screen for like 10 seconds. It was hilarious.
Sorry,
and I think Sondsol was like
have to do with Snap. What
turning things up. It doesn't have anything to do with Snap. I'm just trying to get to the point that Sondsol is trying to create content.
No, you're done. You're gone. You're gone.
I'm sorry.
That's so funny. He referred to a meme. He referred to a meme to talk about my fucking politics.
My only
fucking loser. Okay, go ahead. Finish.
Okay, sorry.
Finish. I'm waiting for you. Stop talking about a meme.
You're not waiting at all. You're just still waiting.
I've been waiting for you to make a point this whole time.
All right.
You said because things are too high, therefore we're judging.
All right. Okay. Madlad, finish your point.
All right. So regarding the tweet, I think you're just trying to start controversy and stirring shit up, and you're just trying to have beef with everybody. Regarding EBT and Snap, I'm getting to it.
I'm calling for a cage match. Guess I want to drill him on this.
Sondsol, can I ask you a question?
Can I cage match? Is that a thing in?
Ain't no cage match in the Rumble.
I don't know.
I don't know. Shut up!
Why are we asking you? You dumb.
You shut up, Sondsol. Look,
I waited so long for this.
You know what? It's all right.
It's really quick.
Okay.
All right. So my point is regarding EBT. Let's just talk about the. Okay.
Finally, yes. Talk about the topic.
Jesus Christ.
Here we go. How many? See,
All
I
right,
go around the room. I go around the room. I just start fucking cutting motherfucking voices, right? And stealing people's souls. That's what I'm doing over here right now. I have no idea where the fuck we were at. I just know I needed to quiet down the room. Geek, you know where the fuck we're at?
Not anymore. So I think we're going to open it a little bit here. Yeah, trying to get it back on topic.
Y'all better figure this shit out, okay?
Sondsol, so only 6 states in the country.
For like 20 minutes.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. Sondsol, me and you have never met, so what I'm about to say to you, please do not take it harshly. It is not a criticism of you. It's actually a positive thing. I just want to, like I did before with Sparky, help you a little. Help kind of guide while you're getting
I'm ready for it. I love learning things.
So, you said in a tweet that positivity has to be the point of a movement, right?
Sure.
That we cannot use our anguish, our pain, our hate to guide what we think is moral. Right?
Not. I don't think I used those exact words, but I know what you're saying. I know what tweet you're referring to.
Yeah, yes. Like it was a good tweet. Like it was a banger. That was a banger. So could you see where people might see and read what you just said with a lot less flavor than what you gave it this entire time?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So
Okay,
this is
so
what. Okay.
no, hold on, wait. There's a bigger point here. So if you stand for a set of values and you're not attacking people per se, but not understanding why you're getting pushback, wouldn't
No, I
that speak more
understand,
to you
yes.
doubling down on what that actually means as opposed to it being like a misread? Like it's more like a Tim Pool tweet. Like,
I want to 1,000,000% agree with you. I want to 1,000,000% agree with you. If that was what I was trying to go for there, yes, I would 1,000,000% agree with you.
So
let me tell you what happened with that tweet.
This is the point. This is the point I want to bring to you.
No, I want to finish. I'm going to tell you what the tweet was about. Okay.
Pause. Paradigm shift finished. Then Sondsol.
Okay.
Thank you. You got Plethy up here defending you. You got first. I like the.
That's not true.
Yeah, not in that realm.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
but you was.
No,
you
were
running for a little. Don't do that. Don't do that. First, I like the Jason Momoa thing you got going on there. Really, really masculine. Appreciate that. Cool.
I'm not nearly that masculine. Come on. I appreciate the compliment, but
I feel like it's easier for me to say that when you have thoughts that that meme it could stay in the drafts. Like, I don't post anything that would make people read something in a way that would give me that intention. If you can honestly sit up there and say you didn't mean it with that intention, that for some strange ass reason, I'm less likely to believe that not only did you mean it, but like you mean that personally, and you're hiding behind that Twitter shield, that Twitter shit, and like, nah, you got ratioed, bro. Like, ratio plus
so let me
L.
tell
I don't
you
know what you want,
exactly
bro.
where that tweet came from, right? And all the people that came to me in good faith instead of the kind of people that were virtue signaling like KFlogan and Madlad over there. Okay, the people that came over and talked to me, right? I explained to them that at 3 a.m. that night when that tweet went out, I had been engaging in a Twitter conversation with an individual who was making the point that they literally could not fucking cook for themselves because they really didn't like cooking and they really didn't like going to the grocery store, right? And for like fucking 2 hours, they talked about how much they could not go to the grocery store and how much they did not like cooking. And then I said that they need to grow the fuck up. I don't usually get a whole bunch of engagement on my tweets. I didn't really think this one out. I was super high. I just threw it out there because I wanted to subtweet this person and be mean to them. You guys saw it, and you guys, even though KFlogan knows what my politics are, I don't know who the fucking Madlad is supposed to be, so I don't know how much of my content he watches. So maybe you guys don't, maybe he doesn't know what my politics are, but anyone who knows who I am, knows what my politics are, would never read that tweet and say, wow, man, Sondsol really fucking hates poor people and wants them to all die.
People who know your politics
was on WIC. My family was on food stamps way long time ago, all right? I was super fucking poor. I had to fucking cook all of my food because if I ate out every single fucking meal, I would have not been able to pay my rent. I would have not been able to afford my car bill, all right? I would have been out on the fucking streets, all right? If you know what it's like to be fucking poor, and this is the last thing I'll say, and this is the last thing I'll fucking say, and this is the last thing that I'll say, if you have ever been really fucking poor where the choice is I could eat at McDonald's every single fucking day and feel really good in that moment, or I could cook myself a meal and fucking put that shit in some Tupperware and still afford rent. Most poor people are smart enough to fucking cook themselves a fucking meal.
Get the nuance.
I still believe I'm not going to fucking bow down to fucking Twitter warriors like you, motherfucker. As many fucking tweets as you want. I'm not gonna fucking.
Excuse me.
I see. This is what we're gonna have to do, right? No worries, he's still going. We'll see how long it goes.
No.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to let Sondsol finish, right? And the rest of y'all are going to endure his take. That's what's going to happen, right? So, Sondsol.
Here for it.
One of the best takes, by the way.
I just think that if you're going to virtue signal, be like totally fine with talking to that person one-on-one instead of like talking on a panel by yourself with like your friends in circle jerking about it and then making memes about them. Don't be a fucking coward. At least stand up for your values and like talk about it with that person.
I'm here, motherfucker.
Yeah, I had to bring you here, motherfucker.
You had to bring me. Okay.
I've talked to Sondsol before, And the reason I interpreted it the way I did was because last time I talked to Sondsol on stream, he was defending Amazon over the deaths of some of their workers in a fucking
a tornado hit an Amazon facility, and it's like Jeff Bezos like single-handedly created the fucking
strawmen are really
tornado
easy
and
to
killed them.
argue against, aren't they, Sondsol? Maybe try arguing against an actual fucking
Well,
point
I
that
tried to
someone's
ask
ever
you what
made.
they could have done better besides having storm like places in their facility that were resistant to storms, where all the people who survived were in, right? The only people that died at that facility were not able to get into these storm shelter
keep
things.
sucking Amazon's dick.
You think life is a game of Five Nights at Freddy's? Like, what is this?
They
Okay,
you stupid fuck.
Hold on. Console. Chill.
I'm just yelling so they can't be heard. I know.
No, vibe check.
Hold on. Raccoon, I appreciate it. Bro. Love the energy. Xathereth, go for it.
I know we kind of like veered off and started bashing on Sondsol pretty hard.
Love it.
But I know. I still haven't heard an argument about my question from earlier when I said when I asked the people who think that you should be able to tell people how to spend your money if you're the one giving it to them. The people that are on disability, for example, all of their money is coming from the government. And
I'm actually on disability. Yeah, I received disability. Yeah, so if you really want to
Stop
answer,
eating that chocolate bars. Oof,
if you
it's
really
my
want to
money.
know, if you really want to know the answer, well, I also work. I also work, so you can be 100% disabled and still earn money.
Hang on a second. Yes, you can, but the people that are not working, then how are they supposed to spend their money and like in a way that they want to versus the way that your government wants you to?
Because disability is not a grant, it is actually an insurance that is being paid out. You actually, while you're in work, your company or whoever you work for, they pay a disability insurance. And when you become 100% disabled, it's actually, it's basically an insurance fund that is paying out to the individual. So there are no restrictions. This is not just
I
some
thought you
grant.
said there were restrictions on everything.
There are restrictions
you
on
have no
Just
restrictions.
disabled people, surely.
There's restrictions on every bit of government money handed out. So yes,
not on private money at all.
Well,
There shouldn't
But
be
it's
any
like the
restrictions on you at all.
taxpayers' money, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody at your
Real quick.
And all people on EBT.
Excuse me, everyone. Real quick.
So,
is there anyone else with a fucking French accent? No. So when I speak, no one speak. It's time. You know what time it is.
Geek. It's true, right, Geek? I would say probably turn your gain up a little bit, bro.
Yeah, you're quite quiet. I couldn't.
Yeah, turn your gain
Sorry.
up.
Is it better?
That's much better. That's much better, right? Now listen, motherfuckers, right? It is time. It's that time, right? There's another wave of people that are itching. They're fucking waiting to be able to come in. But what that means is that some people are going to have to leave the room. This right here is not emotional, right? I have zero. I don't get to make the decision at all. But this is what's coming down from the top. So
real quick, before we say the name, I just want to say to everyone in everyone's chat, go follow wonderful panelists. They all deserve it, whether you agree or disagree with them, you know. Go interact. Go in that chat, tell them why you agree or disagree, you know, and everything. So go follow everyone, support and everything. So yeah.
Out fucking standing. I'm loving that energy, Geek. Now, first on the list, AircraftSparky. AircraftSparky, you did a good job, but you're out of here. NoJustice. You're on the list.
Suspected as much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Madlad, you're next on the list.
Staring at the screen energy, Madlad. Staring at the screen energy from 2021 energy, Madlad. Oh, man.
Love you all.
Maybe if you were...
I said Sondsol, shut up. I said Sondsol, shut up. And you know what? That one's gone too. Oh, that made it easy. freaknikbeatnik. I'm sorry, brother. You're next on the list. Happy to have you here, man. And Xathereth. Sorry, honey. That's the breaks. Appreciate you being here. Right? Now, We got this room of people left. Make sure somebody go back and unmute. Wait, no, that was Sondsol that unmuted.
Yeah, Sondsol can stay muted. It's okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll just keep Sondsol muted for now. We gotta control the raccoons. They're fucking feisty when they come out of the trash can. Right now. Now, next up on the list that we have coming into the room. Hold on, real quick. Let me get a swig of the moonshine here. Oh, you see that? Drum roll, please. We got somebody trying to turn their camera on. There we go. Plethora with the drum roll. Jesus, they're all coming in at once. North Countryman!
Oh,
we got North Countryman coming into the room. How you doing, brother? Holy shit, it's Spectre TV. We got fucking Spectre up in this motherfucker. Next, we got Fresh Faces New Ideas.
You doing?
I'm looking. Who else we got? There's got to be two more. Oh, look at that. It's Carl, Your Environment Seattle, also known as fucking, what was that? That soy latte. Soy latte. That's right. Fucking look at that shit. I remember this fucking name. Here we go. And who else we got on the list for tonight? I think there's got to be one more. There's got to be one more, right?
With the webcam not active, but it's Yeahhway.
Oh,
holy crap, check the drip.
Straight up like Macho Man Randy Savage up in this motherfucker.
God damn.
I fucking love it. Oh, yeah. Right now.
The crop rises to the top.
How about a shout out to people channeling their feminine energy, you know?
Shout out to the server mute that Plethora just got. Now, that being said, everybody that just ran into the ring right quick, we're gonna, you know what, Yeahhway, you're gonna close this out, right? I like that energy. We're gonna keep that there last. So, Fresh Faces New Ideas, lead us off. Real quick, 30-second segment. Tell me who you are and where people can find you.
I'm Fresh Faces New Ideas. You can find me on twitch.tv/FreshFacesNewIdeas. You can also find me on Twitter @FacesIdeas. I stream pretty much every day around 5 p.m. EST, and I will talk to anybody about essentially anything.
Oh, fucking staying. That's what I'm talking about. North Countryman, take it off next.
I'm North Countryman. I do... What the fuck do? I do sort of academic political takes, bad gaming, and corny jokes. You can find me at twitch.tv/NorthCountryman at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on Saturday and Sunday, and starting this week at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time on Mondays for the Europeans. You can find me at twitch.tv/NorthCountryman and Twitter, where if you did, you would have found some useful information for this panel. Just
wow, I don't know if that last part you said was actually useful, but Spectre, kick it off.
Hey, I'm Spectre. I'm on my Twitch channel, Spectre0TV. I have takes that annoy liberals regularly on the internet and like to argue about them. So yeah, good to be here.
Nice, Carl or Soy Latte. How are you doing today, buddy?
Hey, doing pretty good. Thanks for inviting me on here. I am a very lazy streamer, also software developer, and I've worked in EBT and credit card processing, so I'm going to bring some knowledge to this panel. You can find me at linktree/YesTV. You can find me at SoyattLe here on Twitch, and you can find me at yestv.org. That'll take you to my long-form YouTube content.
And last but certainly not least, Yeahhway, give it to me.
The name is Macho Man Yeahhway Savage. You can find me at twitch.tv/Yeahhway. Everywhere else, just at Yeahhway. And it's going to be in the chat.
Motherfucking outstanding. Now, you know what, Geek? I think the way we settled this thing last time probably works for this time. So, first one to raise your hand. Oh, that was ParadigmShift. Paradigm, take it away.
Oh, bad.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Sondsol, yeah, we were picking on you, so I want to drag the conversation back to what Xathereth said last. I think that a lot of people here speaking now don't have, like, I don't like when people who generally, and I'm going to just say it just to say it, present a certain way, don't,
As you gone?
What happened?
What happened?
You tell me,
motherfucker. Somebody was pointing down and you were raising your hand, and I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, we were touching tips right here.
Oh, y'all just
Okay, we're gonna have a talk about PDA after that, but like, let's go back to Paradigm.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, what?
I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Plethora was like, Jesus, I was just a part of that
feels like
joke. How the fuck did that happen?
A
I feel
Twitch
like a
Me
lot of
Too
people.
situation going on now.
I feel like people don't have a great understanding of how minimalist and how restrictive these systems actually are. I am currently like below the poverty line. I stream on Twitch to give my experience. And a part of that is understanding that like there are so many barriers for what they can kick you off of this program for that are barely ever seen. Sometimes you get social workers who don't even like you. I've gotten my literal house. I'm sorry for the anecdotes, but like it's happened all over the neighborhood, and that's one of the things I fight for. My literal house was like put under rent arrears because they didn't like the fact that we were having Section 8. The government programs that we're afraid of allotting and expanding only increase the stigma of even using them in the first place. And those people you cannot expect them to compete on an even playing field just by waking up in the morning and saying, well, yeah, they can cook, they could do this, they can do that. Like there's so many avenues of thought that have to go through a poor person's mind. And when you throw in the like, oh, I've been poor before, oh, I've been this before, it's like there's still levels of like, oh, I couldn't pay my car note. Like, great for you, bro, I'm still using the train. And then there comes those problems, and all of that's underfunded. And
so
like,
I love this because like you're talking about like expanding the social safety net. I agree with you, right?
I know, yeah,
but this is the thing. I don't think that I have to fucking throw out my personal anecdotes. Yeah, so what? I had a car. I live in fucking Houston, Texas. If you don't have a car, you literally don't get to fucking work. There is no fucking public transportation here.
Right,
Okay,
yeah, that's a problem.
I don't
we need
think,
to fix that.
But here's the thing: you are like sitting here and agreeing with people that want to expand the social safety net in like really weird and probably unproductive ways. I think that there are a million ways that we can expand it before saying, okay, let's expand it towards fast food first. I agree with everyone's takes about like a hot food. I think that's an incredibly stupid, arbitrary, dumb fuck thing. If I want to go to the grocery store and I have EBT and I want to get a rotisserie chicken so I can make chicken soup for the next 5 days, or if I want to make some sort of like quesadillas with them and it's like super fucking cheap, why do I have to spend $10 on a raw chicken instead of $4 on a cooked chicken? Why is that the line, the hot foods thing? All right, I don't understand that line, but the fast food one I do understand, right? And there can be ways that we can incorporate that into EBT without saying that's the first number one thing that we need to do.
Okay, now I know everybody's gonna jump in. I would just like to reply to him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I would just like to reply to him.
Are we talking about arguing against straw men? KFlogan? KFlogan, the king of straw men? Shut the fuck up. Let Plethora finish his point.
No one said it was the first. You've just made that up. You introduced that.
This has been the entire argument this entire time. I listened to the panel before I jumped on, and I'm still here, motherfucker.
Right. No, okay. So, wait, no, that's fine. I understand where you're coming from. My problem is that I could extrapolate from what you just said, the tweet, the way you've defended it, the way you've talked to other people, that I really don't think you have an empathetic response towards poor people, like as a whole, because you're willing to draw a line, an imaginary line in the sand for where you think, okay, it shouldn't go that far. But like,
hey, tell me what my take is. You do not understand my take. If you are saying what you just said, the facts that you just said, no, SoyattLe, shut the fuck up. The fact that you just said the statement you did means that you do not understand what my take is. Repeat back what my prescription is.
Your take, I believe, is that you just said that I am okay with going to the grocery store with EBT and being able to use that. That restriction shouldn't be in place. What is the difference between me going to a supermarket and buying a $10 raw chicken when I could go to like Costco, which is a thing, and get a $4 cooked chicken? Right. So my thing to you is that these restrictions that you believe should exist, based on what you just said about, well, we're not going to do it for fast food, is just a more stringent way of punishing people for being poor. Now,
how is expanding it more stringent? How is expanding it more stringent?
Because you want to go in one direction and also take away from another. You are wanting to take a step forward and then take a step back.
All right, real quick.
Am I crazy? Am I like...
Again, French accent. I'm just saying.
Sorry.
All right, I want to fade to Plethora and after that Yeahhway and yeah.
Perfect. That's the order I wanted to go. So
characterization.
Sondsol, chill. Right?
I
I
guess-
agree with Geek. That's the direction I want to go. Plethora, then Yeahhway. Go ahead.
All right.
I guess just super quick, I'm also kind of disappointed, not just in the fact that there's a lack of conversation about nutrition, and that SNAP literally is supplemental nutrition assistance program, and I think that ought to be part of the conversation. I'm sorry to say, and people can engage with that in a moment. But the other piece is, multi-billion-dollar corporations feeding our communities near garbage should not be financially incentivized to harm people with their products. And that's part of EBT, that's part of SNAP when we include fast food restaurants in these programs. Now, there are other ways to reorganize. For example, individual restaurants and chains can donate to local food banks and local food centers. And they don't necessarily need to be financially or otherwise incentivized to participate in such programs. So that's also like another layer that I think is important to discuss when we're
Why
talking
don't we just
about SNAP.
incentivize like the healthy food
Farmers
instead
also
of
do
like
that.
yeah, instead of like asking
That's-
restaurants to do this and the other thing, why don't we incentivize
That was
like
what I was gonna say.
I think
Real quick. Sorry.
double the money for healthy food.
You don't let me talk.
French accent.
Yeah, you guys are right. Yeah. I got it cleared out for you, Geek. Go ahead.
I want to throw it back to Yeahhway, but after that, I want to throw it to Sergeant.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. No, that's exactly what I was going to say. We shouldn't be incentivizing these healthy meals, and you can do that through McDonald's. All of the libs in this panel, they love being able to point at the line go up when it comes to the stock market. If we're sending people with EBT to these fast food restaurants with healthy choices, why not incentivize it by not having that count against their EBT dollars, and they'll get one hot meal for free. We're the richest, freest country in the world. Why would you ever want to incentivize people by taking choices away from them? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
America's not the freest country in the world, by the way.
It's the greatest goddamn country in the world.
No one cares about that topic.
Get kicked off this panel next, bro. That's it.
All right, Sergeant.
There's so many other issues.
Sergeant. Go ahead.
So, like, I think that like shifting the conversation towards like incentivizing people to make healthier choices is fine. I think the problem is like when we restrict people from making these choices, that's when it starts to get like really fucking weird. Because we don't do this with like child tax credits. We don't do this with adoptive people who adopt either like other people's kids or like kids that have behavioral issues. Like from the state, they get money from the state, and they don't have to do as much intensive like bookkeeping of what they spend the money on. If they want to buy like a fucking Mercedes with the money that they get from the state for raising these kids, there's no regulations on what they spend that money on. But incentivizing poor people to make healthier choices while still allowing them to make bad choices is like a completely reasonable option where everybody can agree. I know that New York does this where if you use your EBT stamps like at local farmers markets, you get like $3 back for every $2 that you spend. So we can incentivize people to make good healthy choices while not restricting the option to make like bad healthy choices. Because if we actually give a fuck about like the health of poor people, everybody here has to stop eating their fucking cornstarch syrup, their fucking Mountain Dews, their fucking candy bars. Like, it's about controlling poor people with money. Like, if you give a fuck about health, unless you are the epitome of health, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, literally fucking snorting pre-workout, I don't give a fuck what your take is on health, because you don't give a fuck about your health. You just care about controlling poor people. So incentivize, don't take choices away.
You don't just incentivize the individual, though. Hold on. If you smell what CTV is smoking, right? So, Carl, Fresh Faces, New Ideas, North Countryman, Spectre. They haven't spoken yet. Let's go.
All right, we're going to go into new territory. Thanks, Plethora, for coming up with the idea that we need to make sure corporations do not make shit food for all people. We do need to regulate food. We need to decommodify healthy food. And yes, there's a profit incentive in cheap, unhealthy food, but that doesn't have much to do with this. So let's think about how we implement these EBT restrictions. So Sondsol, I gave you plenty of time to think about this. And I want to thank you for putting money in my pocket because I worked in card processing. You helped me make a living at a dumb-ass six-figure salary for about a year, because the more we complicate these benefit structures, the more we allow for a thing called regulatory capture.
Explain to me.
Regulatory capture.
Yeah. Wait, I'm advocating for expanding it.
No, yeah,
We
you're
all are.
complexifying the benefit program. You're expanding the program, but you're putting more rules and more restrictions on how it works. Regulatory capture. Okay, your prescription is that, okay, you get a little bit of fast food, you get a lot of healthy food, you get no alcohol, and so when that transaction slides through the credit card machine, it goes, oh, let's look up the SKUs on everything that was bought, and I'm going to go into my benefit program, and I'm going to transmit back to you yes or no, and that's going to change every time a new legislator wants to put their opinion in. That's going to like fuck the whole system up, and I get paid the whole way. Regulatory.
That's
capture.
not.
Thanks
hold
very
on.
much. Go ahead.
I've said on my stream, there was someone that brought up the idea that there's an interesting way that we could try to like incentivize the healthy food without like restricting totally all unhealthy food in the grocery store, right? And I thought that was an interesting take. Right now, because I don't know the intricacies of everything about EBT. I don't know the intricacies about every single thing about like what hoops you have to jump through in order to qualify for these things. But what I do know is that it's a really fucking stupid restriction to
Get rid of them
hot
all.
food.
Get rid of all those fucking things that you have to.
Yeah, that's really fucking stupid to say that hot food is the restriction. I think that expanding that and saying grocery stores is where EBT is, and grocery stores, unless you're like applying for the program that lets you get it at a grocery store, right? I think that is where I draw the line personally.
All right,
now. That's all I'm saying.
Fresh Faces, New Ideas.
Okay. I mean, you just to be clear for that, you just said grocery store in like 3 separate ways to try to describe a different thing, but that's not the point that I wanted to make.
Is a fast food restaurant a grocery store?
No, but you just I'm not engaging with this. You've been engaging with the same line of thought since the entire time you've been on it. Like,
explain to me where I'm.
Shut the fuck up.
Just move on.
You're just saying something that's wrong.
Just let him talk.
I think you're
Let him
wrong.
talk.
Okay, yeah. I'll just let him mischaracterize me. Go ahead.
Roxa, how many times have you had to be muted, man? Shut the fuck up. Jesus.
How many times do you have to fucking
Just let him talk.
I'm letting him talk. Go.
Shut up.
No, I'm not going to shut up for you.
The idea that there should be any restrictions on this, because the way it's food subsidies. If they're spending it on food, it should be fine. Every American can spend whatever the fuck money they want on any food. Now, is that ultimately the best way for having a healthy country? No, but we have enough of other issues to not have to worry about this particular point. The way that we can do this better is to worry about dealing with the other healthy foods and getting them away. We had something like 35 million children be hungry last year. We had, in the middle of the pandemic, we had something in Ohio, they had like 1 million pounds of potato they were throwing out a day. We have so much extra food that the idea that poor people getting a little bit of fast food is an issue is so out of the realm of where we should be dealing with these things that it's just nonsense. Like, so many bigger problems. EBT should be able to be used. You get whatever the lump sum is. I don't know what it is. I don't know the full extent of EBT. Whatever the lump sum is, and you spend that on whatever the fuck you want as long as it's food, and then you move on. If you don't choose to eat the healthy food because you want to buy burgers with the entirety EBT, that's on you. But it shouldn't be restricted. If this is I know Sparky's not here, but this is going back a little to this point. His argument that it's government subsidies. Yeah, the subsidies for food. You choose how you spend it. It's that.
North Countryman trying. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
North Countryman.
Hey. So I was looking all over this thing. This is a $1 bill. I was trying to find the terms and services of it, or the guidelines that say where I can and can't spend it. And I don't know, I find In God We Trust and other things on here, but I don't find that. Government can... CTV's got a few more of those. Yeah, government can put restrictions on what that money is for. You can only use a mortgage payment, for your mortgage loan, for buying a house. And I kind of...
North Countryman, I'm with you. I just want to point out that it says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Go ahead.
Oh, I love tender meat.
Ah, neat.
Yeah. North Countryman, go ahead.
Is that tender?
I agree a bit with what Fresh
CTV
Faces...
makes it rain on them hoes. We've seen it.
Hi. Hey, Kevin Logan. Nice to meet you. I'm talking. Shut the fuck up. I kind of agree with Fresh Faces' new ideas.
He joked you.
He can put a restriction. Food stamps does need to be. It needs to be focused on food. There are things known as the restaurant meal program that already exist and are being implemented, where people who are elderly, very disabled, and homeless can actually purchase hot food, and there is an actual reason for that. Honestly, this whole topic, it's one of the, honestly, in my view, it's something that can easily be solved. It's going to be a little bit more nuanced, which obviously is not great for entertainment, but honestly, yeah, there's no problem, in my view, with putting restrictions on money that the government gives to people when they need it, saying, okay, we're giving you this money, but it has to be used for this. That's fine. That's a normal thing.
Hold on. Spectre, go ahead.
Right. So, Sondsol, just a question. What, in your opinion, is the purpose of limiting the fact that people can spend SNAP on fast food? What are you trying to accomplish with that restriction?
Okay, this is my whole take. I think that it is entirely reasonable to give people money for food that are poor. I think that's something that's super base, and I think that's a great thing that we do. We should expand that. We should give them more money. We should expand the different kinds of things that we give them so they can buy different things, right? I think that when we're looking at what we're using these programs for is not to spend, like, it's not to give them all of their food money for the month. It is to supplement so that they have more money for food, right? I want people to be brought up so that they can take care of themselves, and I want to, like, have social safety nets out there that help them with their fucking mortgage payments if they're fucked on that. I want them to be able to have, like, the fucking housing if they need that. I don't think that that we're restricting them in an undue way by not having EBT work at, like, fucking McDonald's or Subway or fucking Burger King or any of those places.
But wait. What McDonald's and Subway and all those places had, like, healthy food choices, specifically around EBT. Like, would that be okay?
No, because this is the ultimate, the biggest thing for me here is that it's more expensive for them to get it there. And when I was poor, it was like
Give them
so
more
much
money, but not for Taco Bell.
What?
So
what I'm trying to say is you get more. The ultimate point is you get more food at the fucking grocery store than you could ever get at fucking McDonald's. Okay.
True.
Right. So I understand that, but that being said, what is the purpose of restricting them from being able to buy McDonald's with their SNAP benefits? What are you trying to accomplish with that restriction? That's the question.
Poor people bad.
It's not to punish them. It's that this is grocery money. That's the way that I see it.
So you can look down on poor people, yeah.
Oh yes, I want to look down at poor people. Thank you.
We
That's
should
actually
just get
perfect
rid
way
of
to characterize the argument.
I don't know what's going on.
Get rid of them.
That's a perfect way to characterize the argument.
They're not poor anymore.
It's a perfect
like it's like plethora. I think that plethora was getting more at the point that I'm trying to arrive at here, which is that we want them to spend it in a way that is nutritional for them, that is going to make them healthier. And what the studies show from what we've seen in Alaska with their PFD payments, with the dividends that they pay to people, like for just basically existing universal income, is that if you increase those payments by $1,000, you actually lower childhood obesity rates by 4.5%. People get healthier when you elevate them out of poverty, not by restricting the way they receive the benefits that they already get and the way that they can spend those, right? So what I would propose is
they can afford kitchens. They can afford transportation.
I'm sorry, is that EBT?
Holy shit.
Just give them more money.
I've barely spoken. Holy shit. Yes, just get rid of SNAP benefits. Just get rid of SNAP benefits and give them cold hard cash. Like literally,
and to be clear,
the most based.
Yeah,
the
to be
most
clear,
fucking based.
Fucking true.
Again, like I said a couple of minutes ago, like I don't know the like full intricacies of these things, and if you were to show me that, I would be totally in favor of that. When we're talking about specifically EBT, if we're talking specifically about EBT, right? That's not a UBI program, right?
Yeet it.
I mean, no, it's not a UBI program.
If you want to replace EBT with a UBI, I'm more than willing to hear that out.
Well, I
think
mean,
that's
but that's not going to happen.
EBT is just an
we shouldn't punish people in the meantime.
So EBT is just an umbrella cash transfer system that covers anything from SNAP to unemployment insurance, right? And unemployment insurance is something that people actually have to have been proven to have paid into in the last 12 months to even pull out. So that's their fucking money. Putting restrictions on that, I think, would be disgusting, right? There are already restrictions on SNAP. I don't see the point in expanding those. I think that the better argument is that we should just get rid of SNAP and make it cold hard cash transfers.
Wait, Spectre, why would we have taxes at all?
I love that.
Why do we have taxes? We have taxes to fund social programs.
Yeah, social programs and social programs are those. Yeah, and build roads. Yes, I agree. Okay, and usually when you like write legislation for these social programs, you decide like where that money goes, right?
Yes, but I'm saying that I
Okay,
have
so
a
if you
study
think
here
that,
can
hold on,
link it to
you're
you,
saying
like
that, why would we restrict the money that they already paid into the system? Because that's what taxes do. Of course, that's what. Of course.
Nuance.
So if we look at SNAP, right? What is it that we want to further restrict to SNAP? You said we want to restrict people buying fast food and that we want to take away the hot food rule. I'm simply saying that a more efficient way to spend the money and actually fix the problem that you're wanting to address here is to take away all restrictions on SNAP and just make it cold, hard cash payments. I have a study here from the World Bank Institute that indicates that the only time that in-kind transfers are superior to direct cash payments is in developing countries. Last I checked,
More money,
we're
more
a fully industrialized first world country. I don't think that we need to be doing in-kind transfers anymore. We can just give poor people cash, close the poverty gap. Obesity fixes itself after
See,
that.
I don't even
Scott, quick
necessarily
question for you.
disagree what you're saying there. My biggest contention is with people like KFlogan who are like trying to bring up these edge cases of people.
Keep molding, man. That's fun.
What are you guys
Because
gonna
I want to
tension
keep
is
on.
insane.
Yeah, I just want to keep on throwing it back because he doesn't have an argument against it because he brings up these edge cases of fucking like 14 infants in a fucking family with a mom with no arms and no legs that can't fucking take care of herself, and that's who I'm talking about, right? No one's saying otherwise, right? If you have a better way to do it, Spectre, I
don't
agree
allow
with
for
you.
those. If you don't allow for those edge cases, you literally are basically doing a JFT.
There's literally no way to
Darwinist.
listen. There's no way to take care of every single person. with
Also,
every
fuck
single
those
fucking,
poor people.
No,
Oh my God, oh my God.
Well, yeah, you're not. See the point.
Remember, I'm running the show. Hey, Sondsol, running the show. I know
have to
you're right. You're fucking mid in it, dude. But the judges, right, have sent their fucking choice in for who is going to be leaving. I know you got to put your hand down, Sondsol.
I know.
You
I'm
gotta,
just ready for it.
but you've got to let it go for a few minutes, right? So we've got a list here. Remember, I don't make these choices. These are choices being handed down from the higher ups, right? So first on the list, paradigm shift. Sorry, brother. Right? Appreciate you being here.
Based idea, though.
Appreciate you being here, man. All right. Malcolm, appreciate you being here. North Countryman.
I knew it.
Appreciate you being here, brother.
You have the quarters.
Yeahhway. Appreciate you being here, brother.
Oh, but look at that.
It was fun when I lasted.
Look, I gotta say though, like you went all out on the fucking keep that. Look,
bribe them.
hold
I
on.
have a $10 bill right there. Bribe the judges.
Jesus Christ!
Oh,
shut
wait.
up, Sondsol. Look, everybody, I just muted Sondsol. Anybody else put on that? Look.
You get $10 if you let me stay.
I hear you, but that's not how it works, right? So I love the outfit, I love the charisma, right? Keep that shit going, but you didn't make the cut this time. So Yeahhway, appreciate you being here, brother. All right, next, Fresh Faces, New Ideas. Appreciate you being here, brother.
All right, catch you guys later.
All right, so now we've got the room thinned out again. We've got KFlogan or Kevin Logan, right? Who actually made his first appearance in the Twitch politics world on a Sunday panel, much like this one, with CTV on it. That's right. I remember.
I'll be honest with you. I've been in love with you ever since.
That's true. I mean, it's hard not to be in love with me, right? So, and Plethora, right? I've read into Plethora quite a few times, right?
Yep. Crying on panels all the way.
You know, we love Plethora around here. At Sondsol, of course, we love the raccoon, right? We love the fucking fiery energy that the trash panda brings to the room. We fucking love it, right? Spectre, of course, and Carl. Now we've got some new faces in the room. We've got motherfucking JebTan. We've got Olaki. Is that right? Olaki?
Olake. You sure?
Olake. Right.
I
wonder if he's got some butter. Mindofz, Will, and his channel. And is there one more? I feel like there should be one more. Judges.
No camera yet.
I feel like there should be one more. Right?
The camera is coming.
I'm here. I'm just trying to fix up my camera. Hold up.
Let me look. Oh, it's half white, full black. Right? That sounds confusing. Considering,
but that is 150% the man we are.
It sounds confusing considering the visible light spectrum tells me that all colors are encompassed with the the fucking white light. But you know what? I don't, you know, we won't get all scientific on it, right? Anyway, we obviously have some new people in the ring now, right? Geek, you know what? I feel like the tried and true has been working so far, so we might as well keep that up, right? Right? So first one to raise your hand. Oh, that was Spectre. That was Spectre all day. Spectre, go for it.
Right, so I'll just re-clarify what I said previously, because I think that this moves the conversation in a much more productive direction. I think that we should abolish SNAP. I think that we should replace it with direct cash transfers that lift people out of poverty and therefore improve their conditions. I've already posted the link in chat. Increasing the oil dividends that Alaskans received by $1,000 lowered childhood obesity rates by 4.5%. That seems to be what people are trying to address by limiting what people spend the money on. Furthermore, there's the study from the World Bank Institute that I also linked in chat, which indicates that the only time that in-kind transfer programs are superior to direct cash transfers are in developing countries. The U.S. is not a developing country. We are one of the most advanced first world countries in the world. We just spend our money very shittily when it comes to social programs. So give poor people cash. The problems will fix themselves from there.
Love it. I really liked Sergeant Pepper's idea, which was, you know, if you make a healthy choice, then you should get more money. In his case, it was more of the, if you make a choice that supports like local farmers, I mean, that is a different benefit. It's different than health. It's more of a you know, social signal, which I sometimes agree with.
Yeah, don't you think it's more useful for us to do that with taxes that apply to the entirety of society and not just incentivize people with discounts on their in-kind cash transfers? Instead, we just do taxes, right? I don't want to poison the middle class, right? And only police what poor people are eating.
I live in another first world developed country where we do cash, cash payments for benefits and stuff. And I think America is one of the very few industrialized nations that doesn't do it that way. And it seems an incredibly retrograde and callous thing to do. Giving people money actually puts dignity in their lives as well as actually being more effective, as Spectre was pointing out.
I bet you didn't like
it goes against everything that we know about like economics as far as the.
I didn't like it when anyone became president. None of them are good.
Brave.
I think there's a reasonable argument for limiting EBT as long as it is EBT. I mean, we can talk, you know, till the day is gone and about things that could happen. But as far as the EBT program we have now, limitations on it make sense, because at the end of the day, what everybody forgets when they're making up new policies is that you have to have political backing behind it. And if you can advertise something as taxpayer money going into pushing candy and soda into kids' gullets all day, then it's not going to be very politically effective, which means it's not going to get better funding.
So this
what we should do is focus on
the only argument that you can make against direct cash transfers is that it is difficult to sustain political support for them, and the reason that it's difficult to sustain political support for them is because of the shitty rhetoric that you're using right now. So stop using the shitty rhetoric, and maybe we'll be able to actually sustain political support for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
diving into that again,
we've said that a million times.
When you think about these questions, I mean, when we really think about these questions, I mean, that's exactly the problem here, is that you have people that will use the idea that, okay, I'm going to make a boogeyman, I'm going to make a straw man that, okay, people are going to buy candy and crap with it. And then they can then use that straw man to now say, oh, but that's why we shouldn't do it. I mean, this is a big issue because, I mean, when you look at even things like EBT, I mean, these are like capitalist wet dreams. I mean, they essentially ensure that the system keeps going. The system maintains itself because you can't, you know, it lets poor people have food. And then, I mean, from an economic perspective, I mean, it's one of the most effective social programs because there's no savings. The money goes directly into the economy, goes to the corporations, goes to, let's say, a supermarket, whatever you want to call it, gets taxed as needed or whatever happens afterward. But there's very little savings that happens. There's very little of that money that doesn't get cycled through the economy. So
yeah, but they're talking about abolishing SNAP.
What are we arguing
they're
about?
Not talking about they're not talking about preserving SNAP. They're talking about abolishing SNAP, which you just said is one of the most effective social programs we have, and they want to abolish it and switch it out for something else.
No, I mean, this is more efficient.
Transfers demonstrated to be more efficient.
You might is more efficient.
Spectre.
Can you really say?
Thank you. So now it's a good opportunity, since everybody's in the room and been acquainted, go around the room, new people in the room, starting with JebTan. Introduce yourself, quick 20 seconds, right? Tell me what you're about and where people can find you.
You got it. I'm JebTan. I'm more of a minarchist. I want to minimize government intervention while keeping people as happy as possible. You can find me at JebTan on Twitch, JebTan RIP on Twitter.
All right, Olake, you're next.
Yeah, so yeah, my name's Olake. You can find me on YouTube at Olake or Twitch at olaketv. So I'm a leftist. I like that good stuff. So yeah.
All right, Mindofz.
I don't need an intro.
You don't need an intro. All right, this is Mindofz. He comes over and hangs out in the Wolfpack chat from time to time and gets on the panels and participates. Will and his channel. Go ahead.
I'm Will and his channel. I'm a photographer and I do other shit. I like Ayn Rand, and my favorite book is The Fountainhead.
This
Fucking
Oh God, I'm gutted.
Hold on. This dude obviously gets laid, right? Half white, full black, right? I don't know what's up with your camera, but you're next. Go for it.
Yo, what it do? I'm halfway full black. I am, as the name says, half white and full black. I make music. I stream on Twitch, getting more and more involved in socio-political commentary. I also make poetry. I'm just out here trying to do my thing and hopefully provide a welcome and dope voice to this panel.
Well, the only thing I can confirm is that you're probably half white, but at the same time, no camera. So, Plethora, you're going to lead us out with the topic from here. Plethora, go ahead.
Sure. I sort of had 4 main points that I came into the panel with, and I've went over 2, which were nutrition and incentivizing billion-dollar corporations, which I have a problem with. I also am disappointed with the lack of discussion regarding systemic solutions that address the root causes of food insecurity. And further, I would sort of question the panel more rhetorically, and I think Jeb's going to really like this. Why are we so convinced that the government ought to be the ones provisioning these types of programs? I'm a little bit skeptical of that. And then finally, I also just feel that it's important to recognize that food security is strongly influenced by social, cultural, political, and economic factors. And food security itself is disrupted by many things such as climate change, disempowerment, poverty, natural disasters, and conflict. And we can't just say, and Spectre, I've always, admired your voice on this platform, but we can't just be talking about EBT. We can't just be talking about SNAP. We can't just be talking about food security, food insecurity. We need to be talking about climate change when we're having these types of conversations. It's much more complex.
I tried to bring up military.
So I agree. So hold on.
Whoa, one at a time. Wait.
No.
French. Kevin, go.
I was just going to say I brought up military spending and alternate ways in which you could cut fat from the federal budget, but I was sort of shouted down because it was off topic. So I don't know how to go about that really.
JebTan?
I agree that there's.
I'm not just talking about diverting funds. What I'm talking about is actually addressing the root causes and the factors that contribute directly to food insecurity. I'm not talking about redirecting
That's right.
funds.
We need a revolution.
Do we think that giving money
choosing
to poor
socialism would be
people
fantastic, but that's a
actually
much bigger
benefits
topic,
them?
Real quick, sorry. I want to throw it to JebTan and after that, Spectre.
If we're taking other policy issues that are leading to food insecurity, we should probably not go all the way to like the most abstract, which is climate change ramifications. We should probably go to the actual like why people don't have food. And if you look, California did like the worst version of fixing one of the problems with food waste is that they made it legally required for restaurants to donate their food waste, which I don't think you need to do. But if you remove the liability that makes it so restaurants and grocery stores around the country can't donate their food waste, they have to throw it away because if someone gets sick off their food waste, they can personally be sued. Then you could stock food banks way better, and you could use money coming from other social programs.
Have you ever worked on a farm?
Why are you trading one problem for another?
Have you ever worked on a farm?
I'm not trading one.
This is the thing.
Because you can argue this one more effectively.
You've never potentially worked on a farm, I'm guessing. Is that true?
Point.
Okay, so I just want to kind of share something with you, and that is to say that your point is entirely baseless. Climate change is absolutely linked to food security and natural disaster as well. You think about, seed saving, for example, where entire communities have been wiped out from intense rain, potential tsunamis, etc., and they literally don't. Not only do they not have produce, they literally don't even have fucking seeds. And so it's there's a global effort to actually get seeds to these folks in these communities. And so to say, oh, it's so abstract, we're not talking about climate change, we're talking about, I don't know, I feel like that's a little bit disingenuous and kind of kind
We're
of
talking about an acute need to solve hunger in the United States right now, not an abstract need to slowly lower the risk of natural disaster taking food from developing nations.
None of these issues exist in a vacuum.
They're not
vacuum, but like we're talking about
we're talking about practical right now solutions.
How far away from the conversation we're getting? Like I can understand if we were
speaking, it's difficult to fit that into a conversation on.
Yeah, if we were going to talk about like obesity, I can understand. No, I understand. I know exactly where you're going. But like we could talk about like this issue right here, and then we talk about like one layer of separation here, maybe two. But when we start getting like 3 or 4 or 10 away, now we're getting like further and further away from what we're talking about. Even though this is related, even though it does have ramifications that can bleed back down to the initial topic.
Climate change is and levels of.
I think we should do is we should paper.
All right, everyone.
Teach people
everyone's going
slowly.
Okay. I want to bring it back to the topic, so I'm going to throw it to SoyattLe.
All right, so just to do both at the same thing is that, yes, these things are connected. I could loop us into energy quite easily because I do know about farming and carbon and energy dependence on farming. But when we require solving all problems at once instead of picking these off one at a time, you're enabling controlled opposition. You're saying, oh, I'm going to hold hostage this solution until the revolution happens, and that's actually not revolutionary. It's like anti-Trotskyist. It is actually it is helping the hegemony that exists today.
I agree.
It's important to understand.
I'm not looking
So
I agree with
Plethora. I agree with Plethora that it is important to look at the causes that lead to food insecurity in the first place. That being said, the conversation at hand was, is it a good idea to restrict the way that people spend their SNAP benefits? And my response was, no, it is not. We should get rid of the system entirely. We should make these direct cash payments. Does anybody actually have a response to that?
Yeah, I think we should
I have one
taper them
question
off.
for you on that. So,
go for it.
I think that I like the idea that we have like a data-driven approach from what you're saying, but we have one study based.
It's not a study. It's not one study.
I thought you said I thought you said it was one study from.
It's
Alaska.
like everywhere else in the world.
No. So the one study from Alaska is simply proving that by increasing the oil dividends that children receive, they were able to lower childhood obesity by 4.5%. Since that's your purpose of basically limiting the way that people spend this money. But then the primer from the World Bank, it's not quite a meta study, but it's an overview of all the available literature and studies on the topic. And it's basically of the opinion that the only time that in-kind transfer programs instead of cash transfers are beneficial is in a developing country, and the US is not a fucking developing country. We're very much first world post-industrial.
Okay, so again, what I want to ask the people that keep on arguing against the point that I'm making, because I agree with like different parts of everyone's argument here, and I think individual parts of what people are saying here are very based. But like when we're talking about expanding or restricting EBT, I don't think that we should be restricting it in any way. We should be expanding it. I just don't think that we should expand it to like fast food or something. If you guys can tell me why expanding, if in the conversation about EBT, because I have not looked into UBI programs or into programs
you made the question. You don't need to keep restating the question. So the answer is there's many different reasons. One is technically an economic reason, because technically when you look at fast food, if you were to buy it, it's actually cheaper in many cases than trying to buy veggies and fruits. So if you want to expand,
I don't believe that for shit.
Do you need me to? If you buy calorie, it can be cheaper. Yeah. If you go to McDonald's,
people operate like
Sondsol, shut up for a minute. Let me finish.
Okay. Wait. Oleg, finish your point.
Shut the fuck up! The fucking Frenchman is speaking! Who the fuck decided that it was good to talk after the Frenchman was speaking? I'll let his ass motherfucking go full Napoleon on your ass. You hear me? No,
all right.
Go ahead.
I want to let Oleg finish his point. After that, I want to let Sondsol answer, and I want to throw it to HalfWhiteFullBlack.
Perfect. All right. So the big issue is that, okay, first off, yes, if you go to a grocery store, you can buy strawberries for like $5, and you can go to McDonald's and buy a burger for $1. All right. So yes, actually it can be much cheaper for many people to go to fast food to actually buy food that might be more effective. And then you're also talking about the time. But that's one point. The second point is that, again, we're talking about a system where, yes, do you want to have the government start to regulate all of these things? Do we want to have the government starting to look at what is important or not, defining what people are supposed to eat or not? I think there has to be a safe place where we allow people to have some level of personal freedom to make the choices that they desire to do. And if it so happens that, yes, food, for example, fruits are more expensive on average than going to, like, I don't know, McDonald's and buying, you know, a meal or something like that. It can be a place that we need to fix those systemic issues so that it's not a place where that sort of dichotomy does exist. I mean, these are very simple ideas.
So,
this is
okay,
very
wait,
real.
he said me next, okay?
So
he
the
said me
other-
next. I am going to respond to this.
I
because
want
what
to
Yes.
address your actual
You
point,
said
though.
something unbelievably stupid that I cannot let people slide with this anymore. I keep on hearing people say this, okay? When we say dollar for dollar, you could actually get way more calories at a fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
People don't operate like fucking robots. How many calories do I need to
It's called
operate?
filling your stomach.
It's called filling your stomach.
You eat a burger,
You get more food. I stopped for you. You're going to stop for me. Okay? You go to the restaurant. You get a meal for fucking what? Like $10 if you get a fucking Big Mac and a fries.
$5.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you can get $5. How about that? Let's do $5. Do you think that if you go to the grocery store and you get some fucking like chicken breasts and some rice and some frozen broccoli, that you're spending $5 per meal?
You understand that by policing what they spend their money on, though, it does what Carl was referring to earlier and just puts money into the pockets of these.
That does not answer my. No, that does not answer
chicken and rice.
Wait.
I haven't even got to finish my point.
French.
I can answer very.
It's irrelevant.
It's
not relevant.
We got control now. We got control, Geek. Right? Go ahead, Geek.
All right. I want to fade to a half white, full black, and after that, I will let Spectre and Sondsol go ahead.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
my point.
All right. So EBT limitations, in my opinion, infantilize the poor by having the government decide what people can or can't spend their funds towards food on. If the intention is to promote a healthier lifestyle, then I'm not against that. I think that's a great thing. I think it's something that every government should strive for. But the way we do that is by expanding healthcare, putting in more efforts to educate Americans on nutritional foods, which can be done directly through academic systems and culinary workshops or programs offered by the government. This limitation overlooks the elderly, disabled, or people who just don't have the means to cook and store food or don't have the time to make a meal. In a nutshell, this is an inefficient way to promote healthier lifestyle and a way to further police the poor, disabled, and elderly, etc. If I'm working 10-hour shifts, some nights I just don't want to cook, and I should be able to have that option. It's pretty weird to argue against that as a leftist. And the way we do it here in Canada, like Plethora mentioned before, is we just we give people money. There's no such the idea of food stamps. The food stamps is just like an outdated way of doing things, and it's wild that and it's a negative freedom instead of a positive one. A positive freedom is giving people the opportunity to do something without government intervention, and that's the leftist dream.
We positive and negative freedoms are good things in the United States, but that aside, I don't know why. Like I know that there are other people on this panel who have been super fucking poor, incredibly impoverished, like I have been in the past, okay? I don't know what the fuck world you guys are living in, where going to the fucking grocery store is more expensive for every single fucking meal than going to fucking McDonald's. You guys are fucking insane.
But where do you live?
Let me fucking talk.
Are you?
Holy
but even if it's
shit.
not
I
more
have tried so
Dude, you've been talking
fucking
a
hard.
shitload.
I have
Yeah,
really
you told
not.
loads.
I have when I first came in,
guy.
I certainly did. I've been trying my best to be nice to Danabo, MrG2EK, and CTV about this. Okay,
You've been muted so many times.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
All right.
Holy fuck.
Finish your point. Wait.
Every single time I talk, you soy rage every time I talk. Shut the fuck up. Okay, so Listen, it is so much fucking cheaper to go to the fucking grocery store, okay? You get a fucking bag of frozen chicken breasts. You can do like a fucking million things with those things. Maybe it's a more expensive upfront cost, but that's what you have EBT for, to help you supplement your income so that you can purchase more food. It is not that complicated to go home and cook your own food and have like 4 days of food through like 30 minutes of cooking, throwing it in the fucking oven, and then throwing another like bunch of shit into a crock pot. It's literally not that fucking hard. And if you're going to fucking argue against that, I'm almost done. And I'm almost done. And I'm almost done. And I'm almost done. I just think that if you can't say that it is cheaper to go to the grocery store and fucking meal prep a little bit, and that McDonald's is less expensive, I don't know what fucking world you're living. That's all I'm fucking saying. You guys
Stop. We heard everything we needed to hear. Good job, Sondsol, for clearing up your point. Will and his channel, Mindofz, Plethora95, JebTan. Right, we're doing a full fucking Tetris fucking shape here. Right, this is the order. Will, Z, Plethora, Tan. Go ahead.
God bless you, CTV. Yeah, I think we just need to get rid of EBT altogether. I think what we should do is we should taper it off. Like the way it is right now, that's fine. You know, maybe for the next 10 years, we keep it the way it is, and maybe we even give it a little bit of a boost, right? But I think just societally, we need to work on solving like everybody's been saying over and over fucking again for the entire fucking hour, that we need to solve these fucking systemic issues. But ultimately, we need to get rid of EBT and these social problems by actually fixing the fucking root of what this shit is. And yeah, so
why does he?
Yeah, I'm not there.
Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to get the room around to people that haven't spoken yet, right? So
I was born and raised not to speak over people, so that's why I haven't been speaking. No, okay, so I'm gonna pull up so cash instead of the EBT or whatever you were talking about, Spectre. So the only reason why I'm not for that is because people could spend the money not for food. So do you support that?
By allowing them to spend the money on other things that will help them elevate their material conditions and lift themselves out of poverty, they are more likely to actually address the health causes that everybody is trying to address by policing what they fucking buy with their EBT.
No,
so data that demonstrates this.
That's what they can have food.
Now, hold on, let Z have a
reason that not that's what they can buy other shit like controllers or whatever the fuck they're gonna buy.
What?
That's the reason why our tax money is
I'm telling you that we've demonstrated that when you give them money, that they actually spend it more responsibly in regards to
That's
spending.
my point, but we'll get
4.5% of by increasing the oil dividends that Alaskans received by $1,000, child obesity was lowered by 4.5% in the state. So unless
Alaska's a perfect representation,
unless you have a
controller take a shit anyways because the fucking EBT card declines.
Wait. Any fucking data that indicates that giving people direct cash transfers, you are going to decrease the health of people who are dependent on benefits. Please fucking show me, because I have scoured the fucking internet for this shit and I cannot find it. You motherfuckers want to come on here and talk about the discourse of the week that you have a surface level knowledge of so that you can fucking clout farm and be a contrarian, and these issues actually affect people like me who live below the poverty line, and they affect my comrades who I fucking care about. So it's very cute that you want to do this fucking act, right? But just shut the fuck up. Go clout farm somewhere else with it.
Okay, so maybe read your study, because you said your study shows
Z, then Plethora, then JebTan. Go for it.
And then I want to take back onto Plethora's fourth idea, which I think was his social aspect or whatever. And I do say, when people scroll...
Whatever. Oh, good. You're really listening.
Yes, I know. I have my notepad right here. So,
wow.
So let's talk about the social aspect of this. When you scroll through Instagram, let's just say you're like, oh, and you see all these people on Instagram who are fit, who go to the gym 24/7. Let's just be honest. You're like, oh yes, look at them. They eat healthy. They do this. When I can be myself, I'm not that really healthy, but I do know how to. I do eat a balanced meal. So that's pretty much what I'm saying.
I'll fucking say it, Z. I'm glad you said it. Plethora, go ahead.
What the fuck? Okay, great. Listen, for folks who are wanting to expand SNAP and EBT, ultimately, that is a lost cause. The U.S. Department of Agriculture announced a 25% monthly increase to SNAP back in August. And and there are studies here and experts say this still isn't enough to cover what many families need. And so we need to do away with systems that are not working. And I understand, sorry, I don't know your environment something. I understand what you were saying earlier. Yeah, with respect to, the revolution can't be sort of managed and like mitigated in such ways, for sure. Like I get kind of what you're getting at. But at the same time, I think we need to be just more mindful of,
But
I
what
guess.
about if there isn't a
go ahead.
revolution?
Hold on. I know, Kevin. JebTan.
It's okay.
Hey,
that was my main thought.
So I was looking over the study that was provided that showed that like all developed nations just do incredibly better on direct cash payments, and it doesn't. The biggest differences in food diversity and obesity for direct cash payments was in Malawi, and I don't know what developed nation Malawi is representative of, but when you say, oh, the only time it didn't help was in third world countries, the only time it did help was in third and second world countries. Like it's none of it is representative.
Yes, in-kind
none of it's
payments
representative.
only...
Stop. Okay,
No,
you got your turn.
You're taking it way out of fucking context. You
No, I'm
fucking
taking it in
pedantic
context.
little
He
shit.
No, he is taking it in context. I want to
Okay.
hear what the rest of he says, and then I want.
So in the study, what it demonstrates is that in-kind.
Spectre, I know you got something to say right now, but you gotta let him finish, bro.
Yeah, no. So direct cash payments versus food cash transfers and vouchers didn't show that big of a difference in any nations that weren't third and second world countries too. So this argument that we have all this data that developed nations do better with direct cash payments is false. And two, I think a lot of people's fundamental understanding from outside the United States of what EBT is a little off. It's not like a food stamp coupon book anymore. You do get an EBT card that you can use at the store, and you can use it on most cold, unprepared foods. I agree that we should, and there are programs already to allow certain low-cost restaurants to be used for EBT, and that's a good idea for people who have to work a long time and eat. But there should still be limitations on shit like candy bars and soda bottles at the gas station, which are currently allowed to.
Because you can't even get a warm meal.
Or bad.
Hold on, I was asked why. It is the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. That's why. It is because it is meant to keep people fed, and it is meant to supplement their nutrition. Supplement. If they want to use their personal funds for fast food and shit that they like that's super calorie dense, that's great. The problem is this is supplemental and it's for nutrition. So focusing it on grocery goods is a net positive, and if we free up the ability to donate food waste to food banks, they'd have more ways to make that money go further. You don't need to open it to direct cash payments that aren't used on food.
You need to open it to direct cash payments because by making it an in-kind program, what
No,
you
it's
do.
not. Tell me the country that doesn't have poor people and doesn't have food banks.
Wait. French.
Yeah, you're not Kyle Farming at all. You pedantic motherfucker.
Dude, Kevin just
Spec-
asked me why does the richest country in the world have food banks? Show me the country that doesn't. Show me the rich country that doesn't have.
Donkey dick. Yeah. No, I absolutely
Okay,
agree with
so
you.
shut up, bro. You don't have any evidence of a richer country doing better. So what? Why is there a measurement that a rich country shouldn't help the poor?
Dude, we've already referenced Canada 5 times on this panel that doesn't do in-kind programs. They just do direct cash payments, and it has been demonstrated to be better at increasing people's material conditions, supporting them to whip themselves out of poverty. And the fact that you would find the one part of the study that you can try to take out of context, just that you can
I'm not taking it out of context.
be a contrarian about something that you clearly have a surface level understanding of.
You showed was a
happens to be the
5%
discourse
difference in
is
obesity.
fucking disgusting.
Bro, the biggest difference you showed is a 5% difference in obesity. How does that show it's going to feed people a ton better? A 5% difference is good to throw away the entire best welfare program the United States has and swap it? No.
The obesity rate due to the fact that it lifted them out of poverty and gave them the time they need to actually.
This is like the problem that I have, Spectre. The problem that I have with the study. Okay, the problem that I have with the study that you linked out of Alaska, which I would be interested to look at the whole fucking all of the totality of all of the fallout from that thing, is that we're looking at one stat out of that thing and looking at what happened with childhood obesity. It dropped by 4.5%. That's good if that's what happened. But I don't know what happened with the rest of that. Did people spend that on food only? Are they like actually becoming less poor? Is that because you're just pointing out the childhood obesity part? You're not actually saying that they're pulling themselves out of fucking poverty with these. Well, hold on. But you said that this is you're pointing at two different studies and drawing one conclusion from both of them when they're saying two very, very different things. When when we're trying to talk about this thing
Maybe
in the
the problem
United
is in
States,
food stamps.
this is the last thing. I haven't talked in a long time. Okay, I was interested in what you guys said. All right, so when we're talking about this topic, all right.
Sondsol, I hate to interrupt you, but it's coming from the judges, right? Again, the judges have made their fucking cuts. I hope everyone is ready.
I always talk at the very end. Fuck.
Jesus, Sons, it's something you do. I don't know. Look, so here's the cuts. Here's the cuts from the judges. All right. First on the list, Carl, soy latte.
Oh.
Hate to hear it, brother, but you know
Soy
what? But you know what? That's the decision. Appreciate you being here, brother. Oh, Lake, you're next.
Really?
Appreciate you being here. All right. Next on the list, Mindofz. Appreciate you being here, brother.
No problem.
And next we got Will and his channel. Appreciate you being here. And last but certainly not least, we got HalfWhiteFullBlack. Appreciate
Peace,
you being
y'all.
here. All right.
Okay, while they're doing their intros, can I grab a bottle of
Shut
water?
the fuck up, son, so I don't want to hear your fucking mouth. This is my time to talk, asshole. Now, we got the room filling up. We got some new personalities coming here, and the fact that Plethora is laughing lets me know I'm doing a good fucking thing right now. Now, from here, right? We've got some new faces that are coming into the chat, right? As we have been. We've got Danthestep. We've got Dario. We've got HoddieVolp. Shut up. I don't want to hear your mouth right now. I'm just fucking pronouncing names. All right. IndependentThought. And, of course, Kaybuckoph. I hope you all are doing well tonight. We're going to kick this thing off with, you know what? Fuck it. Plethora. No, you know what? She did raise her hand, right? That was the thing. Right? Plethora, go ahead.
I just wanted to call Jeb out.
Shut up, Dario! I decide how the fucking show runs, not you, you fucking prick. Plethora, go ahead.
Christ.
No, Dario, fucking own your keep. I've been here longer than you. Shut the fuck up. Just kidding. Hi, Dario. How are you? It's good to see you.
Call me out.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of call Jeb out a little bit here. You know, I sort of asked Jeb, like, this is the best one. This is the best program that you guys have. And I'm learning more about you, Jeb. You said, yes, it's the most cost effective. And that right there, I see Spectre kind of laughing a little bit. That right there is pretty fucking hilarious that the quote unquote best program that you guys have in the United States is the most cost effective one. That's how you define the best fucking program. Like, that is that's fucking disgusting. That's garbage. That's so weak. That's so fucking weak.
That's literally taking the amount of money we put into it and how much it helps people. Cost effectiveness just means we're spending less to help more people. That's great. You should expand a program that's cost effective because it means you're going to have to take less from people to give more to other people.
That's not the be all end all.
Yes, it is. It's why is that not? Hold on. She needs to defend this. She needs to defend this. Why is it not good to spend less to help more people? What is the negative in that? Tell me.
We're not helping more people with a program that is literally failing people.
What do you mean? It's helping. What do you mean?
Why
It's 2% of the budget. It's helping 15% of food insecurity. How? Show me the failure. Show me the failure.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
How is it failing people?
How many people are in favor of expanding it in at least some way?
I could say yeah, in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But look, if cost effectiveness,
CTV, I'm getting butter.
You need to get rid. Basically, you can get rid of the American military because it's one of the most inefficient, bloated, ridiculous amounts of spending, which is crippling America and has been for a generation.
Okay, what does that have to do with
not have anything to defend ourselves?
EBT is actually quite cost effective because for every $1 from the federal government put into the EBT program, it results in $1.75 into local businesses and rural economies, right?
Sir.
So yes, sir. Right? But what's the point of restricting it in any manner then if it provides an overall net economic benefit to the community that it's in?
Yeah,
because if the
I've been saying
restrictions are
this all
giving,
night. Just give them cash. Just give them cash. It stimulates the economy. Do you know what happened when they cut off the extra EBT from the federal government here in Texas? The state GDP dropped by $3 million that month. If you give people money, it creates jobs because they go out and they spend it at fucking businesses, and those businesses aren't hiring people based off of how much money you give to the fucking fat cats at the top who are getting these bailouts that they spend on stock buybacks.
That you just said is supportive of EBT, not getting rid of it.
Spectre, we have to worry about inflation here, man.
Into hands of workers.
We have to worry
Spectre,
about
that
inflation
thing
here.
you just referenced is pro
We're not
EBT, not
making
pro
money, we're
replacing
sti-
it. None of you have shown how
printing
EBT
money.
has failed. How is it failing?
So the issue is that
It's-
you're not making good arguments for your case, right? Because you wouldn't. I promise you, you wouldn't say if it was less cost effective, right? If it didn't put that money into the community, would you then be for removing it? No, obviously not, right? Like that's not what you're arguing.
No, but if the other people are making the argument that they think it is more cost effective to restrict it, I will point out to them why that is a fallacious argument, and I will go from there, Darius. But yeah, thank you.
Sure, but the issue is that you're
I actually know
discussing
how
it
rhetoric works. I don't need a lesson.
Okay.
You know what? You're right. Hold on. Spectre doesn't need a lesson, right? But apparently he does, right? Because his fucking name is Dario Spectre. You fucking know this, right? So with that being said, we're gonna go. Shut up. We're gonna go into introductions around the room at this point. So up at the top left, we got Danthestep. You got 20, 30 seconds, right? Tell me who you are and where people can find you.
Hi, I'm Danthestep. I'm a historian that typically likes to go and debate around these circles. I usually am in the prime or panels, but I also come here to CTVs also. And if you want to find me on Twitter on Danthestep.
Yeah, clearly he that first name is B tier, and obviously he comes over to the A tier stream from time to time. So Dario, go ahead.
Sure.
For those that don't know me, my name is Dario. I have a master's degree. Dario. Yes.
I'm
Dario.
joking. Who megalol?
Oh,
Get it?
fuck you.
Yeah,
Toxic
thank you.
femininity. Toxic femininity. Right?
Yeah. Sure.
Jesus Christ.
He just
Okay.
woman-splained you, bro.
Okay, sure. So I have a master's degree in computer science. I am the founder of a co-op, and I am a refugee from the Bosnian genocide. So just in case anybody wants to do the virtue signal, I lived the first 6 years of my life in a refugee camp where my entire family was banned from owning any possessions. Yeah.
All right, Dario wins.
All right, next we got Liz Hoodie. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm HoddieVolp. You can find me at HoddieVolp, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. And I stream Tuesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. EST. Come find me.
Put your hoodie on.
Independent Thought, go ahead.
All right, my name is Desmond Price. I host a podcast called Independent Thought. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. We talk about politics. That's what we do.
Outstanding. And the lovely Kaybuckoph and her box of wine. How are you doing tonight?
Yo, it's cheap and it's easy. I can sit it on my desk and just fill my glass up from there. Don't have to worry about spilling it anywhere. That happens quite often. Yeah, I've spilled a lot of wine on my keyboards. I now have warranty plans on them.
There you
go. My name's Kaybuckoph. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Kaybuckoph. I stream games and have recently got into Twitch politics. So here we are.
Outstanding. And the first one to raise your hand? Oh, that was JebTan. JebTan, take it away.
So here's what I need, because we've heard a lot about why we should totally flip it, and I need evidence as to why we shouldn't flip it in order for us not to. I need evidence that the current SNAP plan is failing, because all I've heard from everybody, including Spectre, is that the more money you put into EBT, as it is right now, the more money goes into the economy, and the better it does.
So if 30% of people who are food insecure don't qualify for SNAP, would you say that is a failed program if the goal was to supplement people's nutritional
No, because
needs?
if you swapped it for a direct cash transfer, you said nothing about increasing the threshold as to when people qualify, so your solution doesn't even fix that. If you want to increase the threshold for people who qualify, we can do that tomorrow, but that's not what you said. You said to swap it to direct cash.
If you swap it for a direct cash so by putting restrictions on what people spend it on, first of all, because nobody's let me get to the end of this point, so I'm glad that I now have the space to do that. All that you're doing is putting money that should be going into the pockets of people who are food insecure into the pockets of these transfer processing companies, these card processing companies that Carl was referencing. That's all that it fucking does, is it adds another layer of bureaucracy that a private company who is contracted by the government then gets to profit off of. That should be going to the 30% of people who are not qualified for SNAP. Is this what
This is the issue with the argument that you're making.
I'm speaking. Yeah, I have a way better idea to this. Just fuck all that, fuck all those programs, and everyone has returned back to monkey. We're going to have hunting all over again. We're going to have foraging all over again. We need to have that because it'll give people a better like style of living than what is going on
You
right now.
interrupted with that weak ass meme. That's embarrassing.
No, that's not a meme. We have more.
That's awful.
I love
He's not joking. Chat, he's not joking.
He is.
We have more deer, and we could definitely hunt them out because there's so a lot of it. We could go and literally eat deer. We could hunt for it. We can
You can do so many.
All right.
This is what I want to ask, okay? Because we keep on.
We need to sweat.
We keep on trying to like slam onto these points.
Hold on.
Are we actually going to listen to the monkey points, or are we going to actually talk about the points?
Look, monkey points, right? Look. Y'all are really high energy. I fucking love it. But look, at this point, it's important to point out this fact, right? Destiny sent out a tweet that said, if the left mandated clean underwear, conservatives would walk around shitting themselves out of spite. I replied, wrong. If the left mandated underwear, we would just go commando and have our big dicks swinging and flopping around. So when your women came looking for a real man, they would have easier access. Right? So boom! Right? There's the fucking shit. Someone else raised their fucking hand? Oh, look, Kay had it up. Kay, then Sondsol. Go ahead.
So I think we're missing a big point. I know a lot of you talked about like the cost of things, whether it's cheaper to buy from fast food or from the grocery store and shit like that. I think the bigger issue is like a lot of people aren't taught how to grocery shop. They are not taught how to plan food out. They're not taught how to actually make food last longer. And I think that's a bigger issue we can delve into in itself, because I myself was a family that was on EBT, and luckily enough, my grandfather did have a Sam's Club membership. So we went to Aldi's and we got all the cheap shit we wanted from there. We went to Shifts and got a bunch of meat and brought that home and packaged it up and froze it and shit. We went to Sam's, bought all our toiletry and stuff like that in mass quantities. And we went once a month and we had food to last us the entire fucking month. If that ran out, that was it. That's all we had. We had to learn how to staple that food and set it up for meal plans on everything. If you don't know how to do that, you're fucked, whether you have EBT or not. You can have all the money in the world and you're still going to be fucked on how you're spending your money.
The issue, okay, is that everybody here has their own anecdotes. Everybody here has a friend or has
but
been
I'm
for,
just saying, why don't we educate people on how to plan for food and how to plan shopping trips?
I'm trying to explain where this entire panel has gone wrong so far. Okay, so it's just people like there's like 4 people or like 3 people and 5 people, and like everybody's just sharing anecdotes. They're like, oh, actually, if you're poor, you can learn how to cook. Actually, if you're poor, you cannot learn how to cook because this is my friend or this is my friend. Actually, what we're arriving at. Listen. I just came off plethora. Okay, no, listen. Let me just make a point before you try to attack. Before I made the point. Okay, listen. What we're dealing with is a fundamental philosophical question. Right. The question is, can and should the government, anybody else, tell you how to spend your time and money, or should the government just offer you opportunities to exist within society and make yourself as happy as you possibly can? That is the fundamental question, right? If you agree or disagree with that, that's where all the like anecdotes come from, right? So if you think the government should offer you opportunities,
it was to give you an idea of how.
To give yourself the best life you possibly can, the only choice is to just give people fucking money so they can spend the money however the fuck they want, because the government isn't there to subjectively optimize for long-term expenditures of any kind, right? The government isn't coming to you and telling you, hey, you know what? Now you need to be a programmer because that is the only way you're gonna optimize your long-term happiness.
All right, hold on, Dario. So Sonsol's next, plethora K.
Okay, so I don't care about what Dario just said because it's just an argument against taxes. Well, the government doesn't know how to spend my money more than I do. The second thing, the part that I actually wanted to get, the point that I was going to say before Dario interrupted my turn, motherfucker, was
when you misinterpret me, sir.
Yeah. So the point that I was going to make. No, you don't have to mute him. We're joking. So you okay. Spectre and Kevin keep on trying to hammer down to this point that Seattle brought up earlier about these corporations that are doing the cash transfers and all that are making bank off of all these restrictions and stuff. Do you actually know what the percentage, off the top of your head, without him messaging you on Discord, do you know off the top of your head what percentage is going towards those corporations of our budget for this? And then 2, how much is that actually going to, if we were sending a large portion, is that actually going to benefit the 33% of people that want this stuff that can't get it?
I do not remember the exact numbers off the top. Whoa. I'll respond very directly. I do not remember the exact numbers off the top of my head. However, I know the amount of money saved by putting these restrictions in place is less than the amount that it costs to pay out to these companies. So it does not actually make for the cost-effective program that you were referring to. Yeah, I actually agree with most of what Dario just said, which is that if we want to police the way that people spend their money, fine. We can do that with sin taxes on fast food if you want to. I don't see the point of only policing the way that people who receive government benefits spend their money. I think that if anything, it's an argument for poisoning the middle class while elevating the health people.
It's like when they drug test.
I have a question. I just want to real quick.
I know. Well, lots of people want to talk. Plethora, K, JebTan, IndependentThought. Go for it.
I'm going to use part of my time to enable you to ask your question. In 3 seconds, ask your question. Sol.
No. I wanted to have a cross-examination.
Question? Can I ask a question, please?
Requirements for SNAP are coercive, a form of hard paternalism. This is for Jeb. Rather than trying to convince SNAP recipients that they want to eat healthful foods and then trusting their judgment, the program would effectively force them to buy healthful foods or forego the benefit. Implicitly, such a policy is saying government knows what's good for you better than you do. Prohibition in 1933, the continued legal distribution of cigarettes, other tobacco products, and alcohol, and the spreading legalization of marijuana. Again, we can argue about all this all day, but the fact of the matter is that these restrictions would apply only to the poor, and this is an argument against them. And Jeb, you had also asked, where is the proof that SNAP is ineffective? I have a paper here. SNAP participants' eating patterns over the benefit month, a time use perspective in 2016. Quote, individuals receiving monthly benefits through the U.S. Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, often fall short of food at the end of the month, and some report feelings of hunger.
Hey, Kaybuckoph. Listen, it's not that complicated. Stop. I'm trying to work around the room.
Yeah, I get that. I'll respond to it on my turn.
My final point to that is just it's not as an effective of a system. Do we need to abolish it? Maybe not, but it needs to be improved.
Okay, Kaybuckoph.
There's other ways to my turn.
I realized a lot of energy. Kaybuckoph.
So I love that you talked about the idea of putting extra restrictions on it. That's not going to help. The government controlling everything we do is not going to help. That's literally saying, praise you be government, you are the best, know the best for me. That's not how the world works. We all are our own individual minds. We do whatever the fuck we want, but why not educate people more on things? I don't know if you guys experience this. My parents talked about it on a daily basis. Cooking classes are non-existent now anymore. Things like that, home ec, stuff like that. Why don't we teach kids this shit? Like I just said, if we teach shit to these people as young individuals who their mind is absorbing all this information, once they grow up, they go to college, we won't have to worry about freshman 15, shit like that you gain an amazing amount of weight going through college because you don't know how to eat on your own because your parents fed you everything. If you know what's good and bad for you, you're going to go through life and understand what the fuck's going on. So why don't we educate these people on shit like how to eat and feed yourself as well as shopping patterns so that you can understand how to meal prep and stuff like that so food actually lasts you a lot longer than it does.
Right, this is also I'm moving around the room. JebTan.
Okay, I had something directly put to me. So what you were saying does not show a failure in SNAP. It shows that we could expand SNAP to make it even better, but it is still it's still arguably the best welfare program in the entire United States.
It's a low fucking bar to clear, buddy.
Stop. You guys are pretending they're throwing fucking.
Oh my god!
Spectre, now your turn. Shut the fuck up.
Hold on. You guys are pretending like the restrictions are so severe on SNAP. You can go to a grocery store and buy almost any fucking thing in there. They're not holding your hand and telling you what you can and can't buy.
Not most of the juice.
Dude, you can buy most everything in a grocery store on SNAP. They're not strangling you, and there are programs right now that are expanding SNAP to get hot meals at certain low-cost restaurants. So we're moving in the right direction on that.
You've clearly never been on.
Hey, buddy. Hey, pal. I got you.
Shut the
Don't worry.
fuck up, dude.
To Dario's thing, the government doesn't have a right to tell you how to spend their money and to police how people spend their money. That is the only function government serves. They take your money and then they redistribute it in the way that they see fit. When we are talking about, they shouldn't only do it to poor people, they should do it to everybody. No, because they're not telling you how to spend your money. They're telling you how to spend the money they gave in the benefit. That's the thing. If you don't think the government has the right to tell people how to spend their money at all, then that is an argument against taxes, because they are taking it and redistributing it and making it theirs. Unless you want to argue that the government has no money and the money should all stay with the people, then you can't say that the government doesn't have the right to tell you how to spend their money when they give it to you through a benefit, if we're talking about the philosophical question.
I'm gonna start howling into this motherfucking microphone. Apparently, my voice is so sexy that you scream for it, right? Independent thought, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't know that I'm going to be able to say anything that hasn't already been said. This has been going on for a couple hours here.
Well, then no point repeating yourself. We'll move on to Danthestep if you ain't got nothing to say.
I got something to say. Hold on.
Okay, go for it then.
Something to say. You know,
okay.
I'm long-winded. It's a podcaster trait. You got to just bear with me for a second, all right? Anyway. So one of the things I did want to add to the conversation is that, earlier you guys were talking about the fact that you don't think that, fast food could actually end up being cheaper than food that you get at the grocery store. And you guys were going back and forth on that for a little while. I just wanted to add into the conversation that the government does, in fact, subsidize the meat industry as a whole. So there is plenty of times where eating at a fast food restaurant would be a lot cheaper because we do subsidize the meat industry to the tune of $38 billion a year versus fruits and vegetables get about 17 million. So it's a massive difference. So there actually is quite a little bit of proof there that it would, in some instances, be cheaper to shop at a fast food place for your food. On top of that, I also want to just note that the umbrella term of fast food is a little too generalized, because there is some certain cases where local restaurants could be considered to be fast food, but they might be healthy, cheaper, huge portions. So to be adding them into this umbrella saying that they should be left out of this concept, not entirely fair. And then some people will point out, well, hey, that is happening in certain areas where they are expanding these programs, but that's really a state-by-state cases. Certain states are adopting them. I think it's 6 total right now. So the question becomes for me, should this be done at a federal level? And I think the answer is yes. Yeah. And so for me, when I just want to just end this really quickly here, because I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I'm kind of in the same place as few of you others have been in. It should be less authoritarian. People should just be able to make their own decisions with these benefits and just be able to buy the food that they want to buy, when they want to buy it, where they want to buy it. There shouldn't be so much restrictions on it. I'm currently on EBT. I know how this is. And that last person who was speaking, I'm sorry I didn't get your name. You are right. You can get mostly everything you want at a grocery store. That is true. However, it does feel a little weird that they put restrictions on hot food. It just feels unnecessary. And so when we see something unnecessary, why not reform it?
Yeah, there's
so hold on. I'm still moving around the room. Hoodie, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So my point is basically, what is the point of making these restrictions on it when incurring those restrictions incurs extra costs associated with having people to determine whether or not purchases are allowed under SNAP? And we've seen I have a study right here. Data shows that negative incentives like excise taxes are ineffective at lowering obesity rates. So there's much stronger correlation between the reduction of obesity and the success of public health programs. And to Spectre's point, go back to the UBI in Alaska, go to Australia and look at how they decide to give people who need food their allowance for food. They give them money. It works. So why even if we can kind of come to that agreement, what is the point of wanting to restrict EBT itself? We recognize that EBT is in itself restrictive because there are over 38 million Americans that suffer food insecurity, which is up 9% from 2019. We're the richest country in the world. That is absolutely unacceptable. We have 120
pandemic. Something happened between now and 2019.
Okay, please.
Jesus fucking
Okay,
Christ.
so Okay, so sure, ignore the up 9%. You think that 38 million Americans, or 36.5, whatever the difference is, that is an acceptable number of people to have food insecurity in this country? It's the richest country in the world. We have 123 people die. We have 123 people die of starvation in this fucking country. That in what world is that acceptable? So obviously the current state of EBT is obviously not effective. So we need to do something to make it better. So and then that's completely counterintuitive to what you're saying, that you shouldn't be able to have fast food. Why the fuck does it matter? What benefit would that provide when we know that negative incentives don't reduce obesity rate? So what is the point?
How many people?
Next, we got Danthestep, and then we're going to be writing out and going back to open panel.
This is all a waste of time. The best deal you have now is $15 for all the meat that you ever want, and the only problem to get is literally working your ass to get your meat. That is a great deal, I would say. Less obese people, way more contributing to the ecosystem, less deer overpopulation, and also people are not going to be that much hungry anymore, as we are literally helping the environment.
Out fucking standing. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. All right. Now, first one with your hand up. Oh, that was plethora. Plethora.
Come on. I thought it was.
Maybe it's a fucking bandwidth problem. I saw plethora first. Plethora, go for it.
It's this Canadian internet, I swear. It's super quick. A study in 2017 asked, have electronic benefits cards such as SNAP and EBT improved food access and food security for food stamp recipients? The findings suggest no evidence for a decrease in food insecurity. Although a considerable literature with regard to these types of benefits exists, very little has been written investigating a specific linkage between EBT cards and food security. The findings in this particular study out of the University of Glasgow find that the findings are not supportive of policymakers' hypothesis that a positive externality of EBT benefits delivery is a lasting reduction in food insecurity. I can link this to you if you wish.
Yeah, they did one in 2015.
Listen.
10 to 15%.
Jeb and Sondsol, you took a jab at me, okay? So I'm gonna take a jab back. Okay, listen. Why do you think? Exactly. Jab. Okay, listen.
Nobody forget my brilliant point.
I won't forget it. I won't forget it. I'll bring it up, Petra. Okay, listen. The issue is, okay, you both assume that I have the most brain dead of takes, right? That I'm like, yes, 0% taxes. That's actually what I think. No, you fucking morons. Okay, listen. No, but you said that. You said that, right? You said that is the only way you can make this argument.
For that.
There is wait. There is a meaningful difference between the government taxing everybody and making sure everybody has an equal opportunity to achieve things that make them happy, and the government taxing everybody and saying, you have to do this thing because I believe that is going to make you happy, healthy, whatever the fuck, okay? So obviously, I am arguing for the government taxing you so that everybody can achieve a minimum benefit that they need in order to survive and make them happy in this life. It isn't that complicated, okay? We have people from like 3 or 4 different countries in here, okay? We have Canada, we have fucking France, we have UK,
I can
right?
tell,
We have Denmark,
don't know how EBT works in the United States.
We have countries that give people money benefits. They give people cash benefits instead of food stamps. And it works. It works. All the systems work. The only question is, what would you prefer?
Food insecurity is a government.
What would you prefer? Would you prefer the government giving you food stamps, or would you prefer the government giving you money so you can fucking spend the money on what
food
you
insecurity
want?
is a government option, right? Just like poverty is a policy decision that's being made. During the pandemic, they found money. Congress found money for
countries without poor people.
Took 70 billion. Increased the military.
Hold on, everyone, shut the fuck up. Let him make his stupid point.
People.
Let him say his stupid point. I want to hear his stupid point. Because it sounded stupid. I want to hear it. I couldn't even hear your point was stupid or not. Let's hear it.
The Congress found was it 70 billion extra on top of the already bloated military budget during the pandemic. They found money for tax cuts. Yeah, so they could have printed it to feed and house people, couldn't they? And they didn't.
All right.
It's a direct policy choice.
Wait.
Please, Frenchman. I'm French. Do you understand that?
Shut the fuck up! Shut up! The Frenchman's talking.
All right. It's time. I'm sorry. It's time. No. It's time.
Oh, you're right. Shut up! It's fucking time. The Frenchman said it, right? First round of kicks.
All right.
Round. Actually, I guess it's the fourth round at this point, right, Geek?
Yep.
So.
All right. First one to go. And before I say the name, I just want to say follow our wonderful panelists. Thank you everyone for being here. Really appreciate it. And also twitch.tv/Danabo. He's the one behind the scene who organized all of this, who made sure that everything behind the scene. And thank you to all of our judges. And with that being said, the first one to go.
And if you go to Shell Shock CBD, right, and type in promo code Danabo, you can get 10% off on all of your CBD goods, right?
Hell yeah.
I love Danabo.
All right. First one to go, and again, don't take it personally. Thank you all for being here. You know it's part of the game. JebTan, thank you for being with us tonight. You have a good one.
Hey, guys.
Bye, Jeb.
See you, buddy.
HoddieVolp, it's time. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, Hoodie.
IndependentThought, thank you for being with us tonight.
All right. Thanks for having me, everyone. Take it easy.
And Danthestep.
On Instagram.
Danthestep. All right,
Sorry,
y'all.
no
We're
offense,
down.
but thank fuck.
We're down to the final 6. The final 6 of this Hippy Dippy Rumble. This is what's going to either secure or crush your fucking dreams of being able to get a guaranteed spot on the Friday night show of the Hippy Dippy, of which, of course, CTV is the People's Champion. Now, first one to raise your hand. Oh, that was Dario.
I was ready for it. Getting predictable, CTV. Okay, listen. I just want to put an exclamation point on what I said before we were cut off in the last round, okay? It's actually not that difficult. There are many different countries in the world. Listen, Denmark gives cash benefits, right? No restrictions. You just get money. You can spend that money on your base necessities to live, right? And Denmark has 10 times lower childhood obesity, 500 times lower obesity rates overall, right?
What's their education level on healthy eating?
Dario, are you saying that poverty is what is the major cause of childhood obesity worldwide, maybe?
Poverty is a symptom and a societal policy, right? What I'm proposing is we should structure the policies of the governments, of the societies we live in, to make sure everybody has the ability to make themselves as happy as they possibly can, right?
Government
Society should optimize for
people and for
exactly, Kevin. So this is what I'm proposing, okay? Listen, tax people so that everybody can have the same opportunity to actualize themselves in the society they live. Don't put restrictions, educate people, and nudge them in the right direction. That's all. It's not that complicated. EBT works for what it does. That's fine. It could be better.
Isn't that what Spectre and I just said like 20 minutes ago in the papers that we both referenced? Sorry, just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Listen, I'll wipe my ass on your studies, Nobody cares. Nobody's going to read a study on a fucking panel.
I just want to throw it back to the plug down. Every single time we go to the kicking point,
holy fucking shit. How is it that we listen to people in the room and it got even more fucking noisy, right? Like, this is a strong person. You know what? I'm going to fuck. Nah, I want to fuck everybody up, right? The person that didn't make any noise through this whole thing, right? Kaybuckoph, go ahead.
Wait, I wanted Yeahhway to finish his point.
You Geek's talking to me. What?
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted JF Yeahhway to finish his point. Sorry. Dario, I mean.
Them and then Kay. Go ahead.
The only point I want to make, listen, Plethora, I'll wipe my ass with your studies, okay? This is a fucking panel. I'm not going to read a 20, 30-page study. I'm not going to take your word for it, okay?
That's fine. I'm just saying, I'm putting on a panel.
It's not a good argument.
You're on the panels all the fucking time. You're not.
Dario. Hey, listen, I have a study. I have 10 studies.
You're always your best friends with Dylan Burns. You're going to be on. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
Look at that.
Jesus
Look at that. It's
Christ.
amazing, right?
I
This is-
don't.
Woo! Boy, I sure am glad I got that mute function. It works so wonderfully. Right, Kay, go ahead.
I'm sure that moon chain has made your night so much better.
Oh, it has.
Oh yeah, this wine's definitely kicking in. It's making it so much easier to listen to people scream. So
Hey.
I
You
would
didn't
love
buy it
to
on
know.
the
I just can't listen to people scream. I have a fiance in the other room sleeping, and so if I scream, he has work at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I will get screamed at, and he will cut the Ethernet cable and then tell me that I need to figure out how to fix it. So I don't want to deal with that. If you guys want to figure out how to fix that, you can. But what's the education level on their healthcare or on their healthy eating and their diets and shopping plans and stuff like that? Do they have education systems on that? And as well as their healthcare systems, because I'm sure that plays a big effect in it. Our healthcare system, as much as we think we're the best country in the world, is really shitty compared to a lot of underdeveloped nations. And so we all like to praise America, and I understand it. I'm patriotic as fuck, and I will say America is the best 100%, but there are things that we are lacking in and things we need to take consideration in. And I think education on our population a lot needs to happen. And I think our healthcare system needs to work a lot better. And if you're not able to get into healthcare when you're younger, to go to appointments to get checked on, for your parents to understand, there's a lot of teen pregnancy going on, that parents aren't able to understand how to feed their children properly and give them the proper nutrition. If we're not able to do that, if we have all the money in the fucking world to do this, we're still not gonna beat obesity. We're still gonna feed our kids whatever the fuck we want to feed them or whatever we think is right.
Can I just say,
do you think that people have time to educate? Do you think that
I can't hear you.
One question. I just have one question. Do you think that people probably have more time to educate themselves and their kids about healthy eating if they're not spending every second of their existence figuring out how to stop being poor?
I would say yes, but I also think a lot of that issue occurs for school. Like Sondsol just said, I think school needs to educate that shit. And I think if you are in school, you're going to learn this shit and you're going to experience this. And I understand in a lot of impoverished areas that people have to drop out. My grandfather dropped out in 9th grade to take care of his mom who was dying. I understand that 100% personally in my family. So it's something that I understand occurs. You drop out, you go get a job, you go take care of your family. I understand teen pregnancy also occurs and you have to drop out to take care of your kid. But I think we should be teaching these at like a lower level basis, like starting probably in like even middle school, like educating kids on how to eat properly.
I agree that there can be structural. I agree that can I please? I agree that there can be structural changes made to the educational system, right? That's not what we're discussing here. We're discussing basically at this point whether in-kind payments are better than
do you think the education? Do you think education?
I think the educational system overall is entirely inefficient. I don't think that it's teaching people how to eat healthily either. I agree with you on this. I think that we should improve that. But outside of that, also, since Dario doesn't like when I reference studies, I'll just put it very concisely and steel man the argument. Give poor people money. Stop being nerds about it. Okay.
Okay, but like half of the argument that we've had this entire time has been about like the reasons that we want to lessen the amount of restrictions is because people don't have time to cook, or they don't know how to cook, or they don't know how to do any of those things. I think that what she's
Never
saying
been
is
my
actually,
argument.
I'm not saying that's yours. I'm saying that part of like the broader panel that we've had this entire time. I know KFlogan has made this point multiple times that it is sometimes hard for poor people to like learn how to cook or like have time to cook and shit like that. And I agree with her at a certain point. I don't think that this is a like broad societal fix for this problem, but it is certainly something to think about. If that is one of the biggest arguments that you have, one of the biggest fixes that we could do is in a high school, go back to
I'm
like
a public health major, so public health education is like the biggest thing that occurs. So for me, I think a biggest problem we have in the world is education and how to teach people. I think these should need to occur.
A massive fix for the things that you guys were bringing up there. I also love that KFlogan was bringing up the fact that we
Still
can just print
molding.
money.
Still molding.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When you bring up a point on a panel, do you expect to have it like ever be pushed back on, or do you get to just like say stupid shit?
No,
and never
be salty
challenged?
about it, friend. Be salty.
Okay, so do you think? Hold the fuck up, Dario. I was just starting talking. Holy fucking shit! No,
I don't want to waste time on this interpersonal drama shit.
This is about the point that he just brought up. Holy fucking shit! I have shut the fuck up because you guys have been mauling about me talking every time I talk for the past 2 fucking kick rounds. All right, shut the fuck up. Logan just brought up the stupidest fucking thing ever, saying that we can just print off money when it comes to like social programs because we did it during the 2020 pandemic. Holy shit! Do you not realize that that was one of the largest cash injections that we've ever done into this country, and it is not sustainable to do that long term? Yes, quantitative easing is based as fuck, and it's something that we can do.
No, but I'm saying
you have to
military
have.
spending doesn't have to happen at all, really. You don't need to increase the military spending.
You just said that we could start printing off the money. That is what you said.
If you're going to print off 70 billion for the military, you could instead print off the exact same amount of money.
We didn't print off 70 billion for the military. We printed off a ton of money. We had the largest.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about this other amount of money. I'm saying the amount of money you found
of any
Congress
industrialized country in the world.
Congress found 70 billion for the military that it did not need. It could have spent that exact same amount of money
How do you know it
on
didn't
feeding
need it?
and housing. Well, because you've got more military spending than the next two powers combined. The US military is already overdone. You don't.
Kevin. Stop. Slow down a little bit. We want to bring the energy down just a little bit, but this is only to. I just want to correct Kevin. It's actually the next 26 powers combined, right? Let's not try to undersell America, right? It's the next 26. All right. So Sondsol, go ahead.
Okay, let me regain my train of thought because you wanted to do a funny meme. Okay, so if we're talking about printing off,
Not funny. America's very based.
If we're talking about printing off money, if we're talking about the military, can you explain to me why all of the based fucking spending that we've been doing in all of these cities, right? We sent so much fucking money to local governments to build housing. You can see conservatives mauling all the fuck over the place because in Seattle and in LA and in Portland, they're building huge high-rise complex for those in danger of being unhoused or those who are unhoused. All right, we are doing these things right now. All right, this money is out there. It is being spent on those things. Bringing up the military
but you still have
right now
you still have millions of people who have no healthcare, have no hope.
Are we talking about healthcare right now? Why are you bringing up healthcare?
I fucking know. I know.
Okay, suck the Pentagon's dick,
Shut up. Obviously, I'm trying to grab control of the room. Listen, fellas. Listen. The judges have spoken. Right? So, you know, this is what's directing the action right now. We're on a show, right? This is where we're at. Now, the next 3 people that will be leaving the room. First on the list, Spectre. Appreciate you being here, brother. And if you want, Spectre's gone. Outstanding. Kaybuckoph, you're next on the list, son.
All right. Thanks for having me, CTV. I appreciate it.
Of course, Kay.
Good to meet you, Kay.
I'll see you later in the week.
Kay's awesome. You guys should check her out.
When I decide to stream, I'm awesome. When I don't.
And the last one on the list, Dario.
Jesus Christ.
Dario, you're the last one on the list. Any last words?
Listen, this was rigged.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It was, I don't know what that was. Anyway, right? The final three of the night here on this Hippy Dippy Sunday Rumble, right? Hosted by your man, critically thinking veteran, the Alpha Wolf, conservative main boss, and of course, the angry Frenchman, Mr. Geek. We've got plethora, Kevin Logan, and Sondsol. Oh my, this is shaping up to be one hell of a show, ain't it, chat? Ain't it, chat? The people champ here. Now, first one to raise your hand. Oh, Sondsol with it. Sondsol, lead it off.
Okay, so if we're going to start talking about the military, if we're going to start talking about healthcare, those are all fun conversations to have by themselves. If we're talking about social spending at large, I agree. There are different ways that we can try to move our spending around so that it can be more efficient to more adequately help people, right? I think that we could try and start a sovereign wealth fund or something like that. I think that would be based. However, if we're talking about EBT, if we're talking about these things, bringing up $70 billion to the military in the grand scope of the spending of the United States government is really not all that much.
But it's 70 billion on top of half of the discretionary money that Congress spends. On top of that, so I'm saying they keep finding huge sums of money for military spending for wars that you don't need to be fighting, and allowing hundreds of thousands.
Which war right now are we fighting that we don't need to be fighting?
Well, you've literally just got out of Afghanistan, but you're still spending money there. You're literally gearing up to try and fuck around in Russia, in Ukraine right now. Well done to the American taxpayers.
Like, should we not
arming neo-Nazis in Ukraine.
Is Russia okay? So, do you not know about the neo-Nazis that Russia is funding? It's almost like when there's a country that.
Yeah, but I'm not arguing that you should fund any neo-Nazis. That's not the fucking point. I'm not saying Russia's good. We're not discussing.
But you're saying
Russia's
that
good.
So Russia trying to impose its will on Ukraine is an okay thing. The US saying you can't impose your will on another country is a bad
All
thing.
you've done this entire discussion is straw man, you lying prick.
I'm not straw manning you. I'm asking you, is this what?
Oh, fellas, I love the back and forth. Plethora, jump in there.
Hey, so just back to EBT and Snap in general. I think that, you know, it's certainly a failed program, and that's been demonstrated time and time again through studies. Yes, Dario, studies.
Oh,
I don't know what's happening, Plethora.
I thought it was me.
You froze.
People who actually took the time on the panel to do research. So thank you, Spectre. Thank you, Dario. And I think that there are so many ways that we can continue to not only improve SNAP, but also directly address the root issues and root causes at food insecurity. It's not just poverty. It's everything from poverty to fucking climate change and everything in between. And yes, those conversations are big and they're complicated and they're philosophical and they have morals and ethics and they ask questions that maybe none of us have even ever asked ourselves, but that's what discourse is. And if you can't handle it, get the fuck out.
Okay, but you have to understand, like, I understand
Hold on. Plethora, if you would do me a favor, move a little bit closer to your Wi-Fi source, because whatever is happening now, the movement away from the source of it is making your camera freeze, and sometimes the audio is not coming all the way through. So we got a different question that we want to ask here in the meantime. I'm going to ask each one of you individually. No, you can shut the fuck up right now is what you can do, Sondsol, right? Because the man's fucking talking. You hear that? Now, we got a question to ask everybody as we move around the room, because this is in fact the Hippy Dippy Rumble. We want to know, and you know what, Sondsol, since you got such high energy, I want to hear from the raccoon, right? Why should you win?
Why should I win? Because it seems like in this... Actually, you know what? I feel like Plethora does care about poor people. I don't think that Kevin actually does. When we talk about this, it seems much more about virtue signaling for him. When we're talking about this topic right here, we have to actually look at solutions to problems instead of just saying that poor people sometimes want McDonald's. Everybody fucking knows that.
And
all right?
some people
that's
just die in Amazon. Some people just die in Amazon warehouses.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Law of large numbers, there are going to be people that die in Amazon warehouses. Congratulations. Sometimes tornadoes are a thing. Congratulations. What a fucking tin-head take. Unbelievably brave of you. But yeah, I think that I should win because I feel like I actually care about poor people. I feel like in this conversation, I can pull from both personal experience to say that we should expand it without going so far as to say that, yeah, we should just like ollie oxen free, get rid of EBT and just give everyone $5,000 every month or whatever. Yeah, I feel like I could take a nuanced enough stance to hold both of these things at the same time.
Next, we're going to ask Kevin Logan, why should you win?
One reason, very simple. I've been here since the fucking start. Still here, undefeated. Boom.
But you could be defeated in the next, like,
I could be, to be fair, and I probably will. I probably will.
I mean, just to be fair, right? So.
Yeah. But no, just getting to this point, I feel like that. I mean, the fact that I'm literally about to die because I need a piss is irrelevant to the situation. I've been here since the start. I'm chuffed with that.
Same. Solidarity on that one, all right, brother?
Sure.
And next on the list, we have Plethora. Tell me, why should you win?
Yeah, I actually made a list before this and I tweeted it. And my main reason, jokingly, is I want to LARP as a righty on Hippy Dippy. I think that would be really fun. But in all seriousness, I do find that a lot of Dylan's podcasts and shows actually have predominantly men, and specifically white men, on the panel. And I think one of the assets of having me on the show is that I'm a queer woman in Canada.
Identity politics. This is outrageous.
And so not only would I be able to represent more of like a Canadian perspective, and sort of everything is very American centralized on Twitch. It's also my comeback to Twitch. This is my first time streaming in almost a year and a half. And I do research, I care about discourse, and I think I do a pretty damn good job of representing my opinions. And I fucking miss this shit. Honestly, being here is it's so fun. I love it, and it would honestly be really cool to be on Dylan's show. I'd love it.
You did really well, actually. I enjoyed your contributions.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is always where we have to separate the metal from the meat, right? I gotta say, Plethora, you moved me a little bit, but I'm gonna be honest with you, honey. If you're gonna be trying to make your way into conservative side of politics, you're gonna have to find your way over to the Wolf's Den, because that's where conservative community is happening on Twitch, right? So maybe I'll
It's
just
the hub of American conservatism right there.
Yeah, Kevin. Kevin, shut up. Right? Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of the truth of the way that it is, honey. So like, make your way over to the Wolf's Den. We'd be happy to have you. But I gotta say though, right? Being a queer woman, we've got other women that love eating pussy. It's not anything like unique, right? Like, people are kind of open about those kind of things. So
it was one of like 8 examples. I have more if you want.
That's the perfect time to just say,
I got you.
Real quick. I just want to say that's the perfect time to introduce Dylan. How are you doing?
Mr. Hello, Dylan Burns. Are we getting camera tonight, Mr. Dylan Burns?
Look, I'm a busy man. I'm scheduling many business meetings. I just got off my private jet from Hippy Incorporated. And I'm here to see the final 3 and see their pitches on if they're going to get the contract, the Hippy contract. It's hanging up here. I got it in my hand. Whoever wins will be signing it in front of hundreds of people on my stream on either tomorrow or Tuesday or someday this week. Okay.
Signing it in blood.
Signing it in blood, of course. And I'm excited to see which of these business people are the best for Hippy and the type of community we're trying to build here.
Well, of course, Dylan, and I know but I want to make sure we put this out for the audience. We have the people chosen, selected as winners, right? We have this contracted out to a third-party entity that is not involved with the community. We know that we are getting the most fair and unbiased ruling, right, from this thing. So, with that
Personally asked Raytheon.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to read the Recruitment Rumble contract, and then at the end, read the name, and we're going to receive a verbal and then later a physical signature on the document. Is everyone ready? Now, the Hippy Championship Recruitment Rumble contract reads as follows. This agreement is made on January 30th, 2022 between Hippy Movers and Shakers Incorporated, hereby after referred to as corporation, and this person, we can't give it away just yet, the hereafter referred to as Superstar. Due to Superstar's victory in the Hippy Recruitment Rumble, corporation hereby agrees to guarantee Superstar a full sanctioned appearance on the Hippy main show, hereafter referred as Hippy at a future date within 2 calendar months of this agreement. Corporation hereby agrees that Superstar will receive a minimum of 48 hours advance notice of their invite to Hippy. Incumbent upon Superstar is the deliverance of this agreement to a licensed Hippy official. The act of delivering this contract to a licensed Hippy official will serve as notification of Superstar's redemption of Hippy appearance. This agreement may not be revoked by corporation under any circumstances. Any. Remember that. The right to Hippy appearance is not transferable. This agreement binds both parties. Name: Sondsol, on January 30th, 2022, do you accept the contract?
CTV, Mr. Geek, Dylan Burns, I do accept the contract.
Fucking standing, we should see this document signed and put on fucking Twitter for all to see. Dylan Burns, take it away.
Thank you so much, Sondsol. I would like to say, Sondsol, that you've been part of the Twitch political scene for a long time, and we've seen a lot of people get their breaks. Heem is becoming 100 viewer Andy, during the daytime. We've seen Irrelevant explode. We've seen so many people explode, and you've always been here, much like KFlogan. And even though Plethora is taking a break, I'm sure if she decides to come back full time, she would also make explode. Anybody who gets to the final round of the recruitment rumble obviously has the skills necessary to explode, because this is one of the top quality shows on Twitch on the recruitment side of things. I mean, the main show on Hippy Dippy is getting thousands of views. The recruitment rumble is getting like 100 to 200 views. I mean, we're beating out a competition with our recruitment show, and you have just beaten the competition, Sondsol. And so I'm hoping that this is the start of your break, where you'll be the 100, 200, 300 400 viewer Andy, like the Chud Logics, like the other people that are staples of this community. Because when people say Sondsol, you've always been around. It's just time for your break, man. Congratulations.
The shadows, always waiting, always lurking, always looking for a time to bust forward. That is the Sondsol brand. Yeah, I'm happy to be on the Hippy Dippy, on the recruitment show, and on the main show. Just want to say that this conversation has been really, really fun. I really thought that I was going to come on and talk to Madlad for about 15 minutes and immediately get kicked for being too toxic. I'm glad that I found the balance of toxicity to intelligence. I withstood the slings and arrows of outrageous strawmen from people all over the panel. And yeah, I can't wait to see what the topics will be for whichever Hippy Dippy it is.
Good Lord, if he went any longer, I don't know if I could have stayed awake for that.
Hey, listen, I'm a poet, okay?
Jeez, Sondsol, just sign the contract already. Fuck.
Where's the contract, motherfucker?
You know what? You got it. One more for the fucking night. Sonsol's fucking muted. Now, I want to say thank you to Plethora and Kevin for making it to the final three. Right? You get some special shout out time. Go ahead.
You can find me at KFlogan1875 on Twitch. Go and check out all the other people on the panel, and congratulations, Sondsol and Plethora and Dylan and CTV and Mr. Geek and Danabo, I suppose.
I suppose, right?
Danabo's been great.
Wait, quickly, I'd like to say about Kevin that Kevin is always somebody. There's not a lot of lefty heels, if you get what I'm saying. People who I know walk into a room and just infuriate not only the right wingers, but if anybody's a liberal, holy shit. KFlogan knows how to get on their nerves too. And that's a very useful thing to have when it comes to my show. And I always appreciate that. I know one day he'll be getting one of these contracts.
I am a cunt. It is true.
It's true. It is true, and to make that true, we're going to give you a server mute as well, right? Fucking why not?
Everywhere.
Exactly. Plethora, take it away, honey.
Hey, my friends call me Pleth, so everyone here should start calling me Pleth as of today. You can find me at twitch.tv/plethora95 and on Twitter at plethora_95. Someone took plethora95 on Twitter, and so I had to add the stupid fucking underscore. I'm really passionate about social justice, politics, and I'm in Canada. Yeah, let's connect. Follow me on Twitter and I don't know, call me out. I love drama farming and just kind of shooting the shit as well. So if we can hang out, that'd be dope.
Out fucking standing.
I want to hear what Dylan Burns has to say about me.
Shut both of you shut up. You Dylan, you know I'm running this shit. Mr. Geek, any last words for the panel?
Not really. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to Danabo for doing all the work behind the scenes.
You're amazing. I'm sorry, continue.
All the work that you've seen tonight, all the people that you've seen, it took a lot of work to coordinate and make this shit happen. So twitch.tv/Danabo, go support the guy. He 100% deserves it. And yeah.
All right. And with that said, right, the mover and shaker, Mr. Dylan Burns, go ahead.
Thank you all for coming to another Hippy Dippy event. Our brand continues to expand with the championship matches coming up. Great matches with us getting new characters like Alex Stein and others who are invigorating our brand. Not only that, but getting people from the Jubilee show, like the recent person from the Liberals versus Conservative Parents, one of their guests came onto our program. As we continue to expand the corporation, we'll make many more business people. We'll bring many people into the family of our brand, and I'm excited to welcome Sondsol into the Hippy Dippy brand as he signs away part of his as he signs a document that shows him to be a member of the Hippy Dippy family.
All right. Fucking, this guy right here, right? The people's champ is fucking talking now, right? So, chat, I want to say thank you for showing up tonight, being a part of the spectacular that is, in fact, the people's fucking champion, showing how not only do I own the fucking debates, but I own the fucking moderation of this shit, right? So, boom! The people's champion showed up for you specifically. And with that said, we're going to close out this fucking Hippy Dippy Rumble. Shout out to Sondsol. Anything last clever to say? I didn't fucking think so. Shut up. What are you thinking, right? This is the Hippy Dippy Rumble. This is CTV, the People's Champion. MrG2EK coming to you live, right? If you're seeing this on YouTube, make sure you're making your ass over here to Twitch, /CriticallyThinkingVariant, /MrG2EK. He spells his name so fucking confusing, right? It's MrG2EK. There's a 2 in there somewhere. Motherfucking figure that out. And of course, Dylan Burns TV. Make sure you're following those fucking channels. And with that, CTV out.